uh, say something. We are live or whatever it is you want to say. Share the link so more pioneers can see it and join in. And yeah, so welcome to the revolution of Pi. And I'll keep repeating it to our acceptance as pioneers to welcome this new age of liberty. We are not just the rich and free, but all everyday people. Here being a contributor of time and attention will truly be fairly rewarded. The revolution starts here. Welcome, pioneers, and thank you all for your usual support. And if this is your first time joining Pi Revolution Spaces, I will just give you I'll just familiarize you with this and what we've been doing. So, um, we started these spaces with a focus on um, next generation internet prospects to try and educate pioneers on these prospects like metaverse, NFT, KYC, and and now we are at Web3. Yeah, we still have DeFi and DAOs, DAO to go into. And we've been doing these spaces at an interval of 2 weeks. And we've had IQ, one of the speakers here. He was actually our first speaker for our first space, Pi and the Metaverse. He's a Metaverse developer. So big shout out to him for coming back again and helping us on discuss Pi Web3 revolution. And so this is just one of the efforts that we make as a community, Pi Revolution community, to do something purposeful and value driven for the Pi community. So feel free. This is a safe space. Invite your pioneer friends and all to come over and frequent our spaces. I noticed that I lost Eugene, one of the speakers. Um, Tochi, you are there. Please come co-host. Okay, so we lost Eugene. I was about to kick off with him. Sorry, Eugene, can you send a request to speak again? Now, while we wait for Eugene to rejoin, I'll just let you all know how this would go. How our spaces usually go this way. We kick off the discussion with the speakers. I throw some questions. The discussion's open, but and the audience will participate. You all will get a chance to interact, contribute, or ask questions. So you will not have to wait till the end of the spaces. So we will keep going around the room at irregular intervals, and we will keep, accepting your request to speak. So yeah, I will be accepting your request to speak at intervals, so you can join in the discussion, give your points, and also help us drive. Now, we're going to be kicking off. So I'll just say IQ and Eugene to kindly introduce themselves before we kick off. So IQ, can you? Eugene, okay, Eugene, you're on. Can you go on?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eugene Uzede, a software engineer, and I work with Touch Technologies.
Great, thanks. I think I should also let the audience know. Eugene, are you a pioneer? Can you tell us if you're a pioneer?
I'm not a pioneer. I've been on web development, software engineering rather, for over 10 years.
Okay, great. So we wanted this variety in our space today. So we'll have a non-pioneer will also come and share in the discussion from an independent point and just speak. And we also have a pioneer also, which is IQ. Speak on the same subject. So this should be fun. This should be interesting. I'm excited to see how this goes. So IQ, can we hear from you?
Yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to be invited back to the Twitter Spaces. I'm a developer of the Metaverse on Pi Network, but my history's really a lot with doing Unix infrastructure with IBM, working all over the world. So I have a quite extensive computer background, going on about 30 years now.
Oh, great, great. You don't like you?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry, I locked my phone. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just kick off right away and go into the discussion of Web3. And we want to start it off, in a very elementary way. Remember that I just want to remind everyone that Pi Revolution community has always been focused on, carrying the least educated person in the room, the least exposed, those who are not even digitally savvy. In fact, they are the reasons why we are doing what we are doing, to carry as much of these people along as possible. So we try and break it down and focus our initiatives to these people. So yeah, we will be asking questions and discussing in a way that can suit the layman's understanding. So pardon us if you want it to be a bit more advanced, but we just have to carry everyone along. Yeah. Okay, so let's go straight up. What is Web3? Starting with that. So let us understand the idea. What is Web3? Can we start with Eugene? Eugene, can we just go on with that? What is Web3?
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Loud and clear from my end.
Okay. All right. So, like the hosts have just said, we are going to discuss this topic in a very light manner so that those who are not tech savvy could understand very well. All right. So, typically, when we talk about Web3, no layman would just imagine, do we have Web 1, Web 2? Well, since when the internet has started, and we'll talk about web first. First of all, the web is just what we call the connection of the computers, different computers from different locations, connected together, sharing resources. Um, you can be able to request for any resource from any location, just like you are right now, like your Google. You can just browse and search for any information, and you get it from, you don't know where it's being got from. Some of this information comes from the United States, some from UK, etc. You get it now? So these are interconnected web. Computers and resources in different locations are connected. So that's the web in a typical definition. Now, talking about the Web 1, now Web 1.0 is just what we call the read-only internet. And what we're talking about that, we are talking about the web at the 1990s, where the internet came on board newly. And as of then, it is more of trying to just, you can browse websites, you have a lot of static websites, you can just browse, but you can't make your contributions unlike what we have today, right now. Then we'll talk about Web 2. Now, the Web 2 is also an advanced version of the web, which is what we enjoy today. A lot of us today were used to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and other social networks. And also, we're used to online banking and the rest. Now, these are Web2 applications. Now, let me use a layman language, is a kind of a give and take um, web version of the web. So, in this now, you can be able to actually pick up resources and as well make your contribution. So Web2 is actually characterized by what we call the dynamism. It's a dynamic web. We can be able to lodge in our own input. So it's not just like you've seen something on the internet, you cannot make a contribution. No, it's not like that. So Web2 typically is what we enjoy today, and a lot of features has been. Um,
Sorry, Eugene, your speaker. I think I muted everyone by mistake. Can you unmute your speaker, your microphone, please?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, like I was saying, before we go further on Web 2, so that I can make some comparisons and contrasts within the both of them, or I will talk a little bit about Web 3. And when we talk about Web 3 is a
Okay,
new,
sorry to cut you. Before you go into that, I just want to like get a summary from what you just said between Web 1 and 2. So you mentioned about Web 2 being give and take. Yeah, so that means Web 1 was just like taking or just giving.
something of that nature is just taking. Yeah, you can only take from the web, but you cannot actually give your own.
Okay, so interaction mean our interaction started with Web 2.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, okay. IQ, you wanted to throw, you want to throw in anything before he jumps to Web 3?
You want me to talk about 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, like I just sort of categorize like Web 1.0 as, we introduced our HTTP protocols and web browsers, and then that sort of spurned on search engines, um, and then really I'd even put in like a Web 1.5, where we started to see things like the introduction of flash animation. That was really big back in the day. Made all our websites quite animated, and it was really cool stuff until Apple decided they weren't going to support flash. And then you sort of got e-commerce, where we introduced encryption. So that's where we could pay. We can start paying for things now with our credit cards. E-commerce kind of sort of, it's either 1.5 or sort of into Web 2.0. And then obviously then your 2.0 is your social media, and also don't forget, during this period, the big sort of plus, or the big increase in speeds, like our bandwidth increased a lot. So that's where we could get YouTube starting to actually be worthwhile. We could actually be useful. And like Eugene said, we've started to get all our social media with the introduction of MySpace and Facebook and Twitter and all those other things. So that's the only things I would add to those things.
Okay, social media. Great, great. All right, so Eugene, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. So, I was trying to introduce Web 3. Uh, Now, when talking about Web 3.0, we're talking about a new evolution of the web. And this has to do, let me put it just as a read, write, and execute form. Don't worry, I will explain that in a bit. Now, this Web 3.0 is trying to see how we can actually, we as the users, we can be part of the system. So it's not just like we are just controlling just to put in your input, but rather we are being part of it, just like we are contributors to the development of the web. Now, let me calm down a bit to make a little comparisons and contrast between the Web 2 and Web 3. Now, we'll talk about Web 2.0. A lot of us are familiar with the fact that, for example, banking system today, when you have an account with the bank has got all your details, and the bank actually controls whatever you do. Your actions are restricted to what and what you can access at a particular time. You know, at times when it comes to this limit of a thing that to make some transaction and you can't access some kind of resource. Now, this Web 2.0 has been in a form of a centralized web that an authority actually have to govern your use of the web. Now, take for example now Facebook as well. You can imagine that on Facebook there are certain things that you can do and certain things that you cannot do. Yeah, so kind of things you can post and so kind of content that you cannot post, that you're not even allowed. For example, if you're a digital marketer, you want to make some kind of ads and there are to some age group even or to some certain audience, there are kind of things that you can post or not. Now, some of these things now there are some forms of restrictions that we get from Web 2. Now, also, but in Web3 is a decentralized web version. That is, that those restrictions, Web3 try to take away those restrictions from what we have in Web2 today. Now, you as a user, you actually control what you have or what your data that is inside there. Now, somebody will try to ask me that, okay, doesn't mean that we are actually developing this Web3 ourselves from where we are, or not really. The data is actually stored in some distributed servers, unlike a central database governed by a server by a single authority. Now, in this case, it's actually distributed in different places. You, as a user, even depending on network you are trying to connect with, you can also offer to be one of those persons who also store data. That is one of the data servers or centers. Now, coming up for it, we can say that Web3 being decentralized, it means that in Web3, we also data privacy, it's open. That is to say that your privacy is more concerned. There's no restriction as such to what you can do with Web 2. I guess everyone is following with Web 3 rather. Now on
Okay.
this Web 3, for example, now when we talk about cryptocurrency in Web 3, you can decide to want to send up money or some coins to somebody anywhere. Now you make the transactions and the rest. No other authority is going to restrict you what and what you can do. Now, even where the data are being stored, they don't have access to whatever is being there. You control your data. You can send up at any time onto whomever you are being given. You're getting me now? So in Web3, being decentralized and permissionless, to say, it means that you as a user, you can actually do things without anybody restricting you from what you can do. And also, like we said, data is distributed across several servers such that a single data can be a single unit of information or data from you can be stored in more than 10 or hundreds of computers all over the world, such that accessing it from somebody, it's not easy because everything is locked up. Nobody has access to whatever you have because you only have the key to access them. Okay, so that's a bit. Okay.
So Eugene, when you talk about so a couple of things I want to respond to, but I'll just take them bit by bit first.
Okay.
Now you talk about you said a person can choose to host these data, to store these data, to be a data server. I mean, how does that happen? So I mean, if I want to be part of the network that hosts that stores data in this, should I say, Web3 internet, how do I do that? How do I become part of it?
Okay. Now, when we talk about that aspect, normally, we know since it's a connected system in the internet, you know that when you want to opt into be something like that, you should always be aware as well that you are going to be part of some those persons who will have connectivity, internet connectivity 247, no interruption. You're getting it now. So actually, this has to do with some kind of tech companies or individuals who can also provide this reliable service. Now, if you want to be anyone of such, then you should be rest assured that you can provide power and high speed internet connectivity at any point in time. So when you make all of this, this word of the internet and computer. It's just a matter of connection, 1, 2, 3 connections, and everything is done. So if you are part of a blockchain network, for example, or any of these decentralized apps, and you a team or rather the company working on it, you can actually make up your connections and get it. But the bottom line of it is that when we talk about you being a host or a data server or center to this Web3 storage stuff, we're talking about if you want to be involved, you have to ensure that you have uh, a speedy internet connection and you have reliable power. That means your systems cannot be shut down at all.
Okay, I think I understand what you have just said, but IQ for our pioneers audience, which is basically everyone here, I guess. Uh, is there a how do we bring this back to our Pi terminologies or something? Is he talking about a node, IQ?
He is talking about nodes. Yeah, I mean that's decentralization. The whole point of this, we're trying to eliminate single points of failure. It's always been an issue that infrastructure in the data centers are always trying to eliminate. There's lots of different ways that they can, through clustering and all this type of thing, that they try to eliminate these points of failure. But under these decentralized systems, when you operate nodes and decentralized infrastructure, like an example is there's a company called Threefold, right? They're doing blockchain decentralized infrastructure. Everything's hosted on multiple servers, right? And essentially what you're getting here is, instead of sort of a bit more serialized searching of data and providing of data, now you're operating in parallel, right? So the data's split and shared across nodes, and this enables parallel processing of everything. Now, with regards to Pi, what Pi is actually doing is, when you've got operating your nodes, that's where they're providing consensus, right? So they're not actually providing any data storage or any infrastructure and that type of thing. They're providing the infrastructure to provide consensus across the nodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's two different aspects there.
Okay, so let's get I see some requests. Let's go around the room now and get some contributions from the audience or some questions. Yeah, so if you want to say something on this, just send a request to speak so that I see Pi Network NFT. Let accept Pi Network NFT. Pi Network NFT, you can now speak. Yeah, Pi Network NFT, unmute your mic and speak. I see a Chinese name. I cannot speak it, but I am just going to accept and hope that you speak in English. Okay, Dragon Picture, I just accepted your request to speak. You can unmute your mic now and speak. Okay, I don't think Dragon Picture has some flames to spit out right now. So let's go on. Okay, now, Eugene, you talked about data control. Having more control of your data and all of those things. But I would like us to understand what that means in a practical sense. Like, okay, um, how are we having more control of our data in a practical sense in doing it? Like I am engaging with the web. I'm in a Web3 platform or network or something, and maybe my data is supposed to be engaged for something. How am I going to? Is it that I'm going to have requests for my permission to be given regarding my data being used or something. In a practical sense, what does that mean? Having more control of my data in Web3.
Okay. When we talk about permissionless, so let me use that language that your data, you being in control of your data. We're talking about the fact that for the world of Web3, uh, data is actually being stored in more of an encrypted manner. Now, in this encryption, you know, nobody can actually access your data without uh, you yourself giving the accurate permission key, that is the keys to access that data. So everywhere they are stored, no government, no individual, no corporate body can actually access your data without those keys being given out by you. So it's just more like your regular Facebook accounts or like your WhatsApp or wherever your banking stuffs where we make use of usernames and passwords. Now, if you don't give in your login credentials, actually, unless a hacker attempts it, nobody can actually access your accounts. So it's similar in that nature. In this manner now, the data is actually more encrypted. Now, it is done with a lot of computing technology and very much encrypted, such that even those data stores and the rest, they have no manner of accessing this data. Now, you are the one who is in full control. You channel your data wherever it seems like. Take, for example, we'll come to blockchain, we'll come to Pi, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest. For example, now, when you want to send coins to somebody somewhere, all of it now, you do everything. Even though the blockchain company or tech you're working with may have a log of the transactions and the rest, they still cannot access them. That's number one. Then, secondly, also, sorry, excuse me. Now, secondly, also, apart from the fact that they cannot access them, on when you make transactions and the rest, nobody is able to spy on whatever you do. Nobody's going to give you any form of restriction to what you are sending out from it. So everything is actually being controlled by you in total. You do everything, you control everything. Nobody's spying from anywhere. No hackers anywhere that are coming to try to steal your data because everything is encrypted. It's more like a P2P encryption.
Okay, so why at how am I requested for my data? Then I would like to.
Excuse me?
You said so nobody, not even government or anybody, can get access to my data without my permission. So how will I get a request for my permission?
We're talking about requests and permission. Well, if there need be, then there could always be any formal way of contacting you based on the technology you're working with.
Oh, okay, but do they have to know each person? Do they have to know me in person before they my, they can request for my data?
Yeah, no, 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 not really, not really.
Yeah, IQ, you got any points on this here? Because I'm thinking that we are doing Pi KYC, and we are giving our data over to Pi Network. Yeah, and so how does this relate? How does this tie in here?
Yeah, I think this is probably a question that's hard to answer because we probably haven't really, like, we don't really haven't seen what the mechanism is at the moment. One thing that I'm aware of is I think this comes into play in November, which is the new banking messaging standards, which is ISO 2022. Sorry, 20022. So that's where all the standards are going to come into play um, for the banking messaging. So it's quite possible under those standards that there will be an allocation there for messages for giving access to our data. Now, I'm not really sure about that, but that's just something I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. Okay, because
I really don't think we've seen the mechanism yet for it, you know. Something that I might add, maybe this is a bit relevant too, is like, say you're a photographer, right, and you take a picture and all that, and we've all seen the NFTs now. We all know what NFTs are.
Yeah.
So that photographer will put his pictures on the blockchain as NFTs. Now, as a media company, if I write a story and I want to use one of those pictures, I can use that picture in my content, right? So when the person reads the article, they'll come across the picture, but the picture will be blurred out, right? Now, if I want to look at that picture to see the content, I will click on that, and then that'll trigger a microtransaction that I'll approve, right? And so the beauty of this is the original content creator, the photographer, he'll now receive a payment, right? And that's in perpetuality, you know. So he'll forever of that picture, anytime it's used, he'll get a payment of that. So that's a way in that, you know, he can share his data and then get remuneration for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a mechanism too, where you can give permission for your data.
Okay. Does this also count? You know, when we go on the Pi browser and we want to connect to um, um, maybe workforce pool or something, or any other application, and then it asks us for permission. Is it whether to connect our wallet or something? Does that also is that part of this?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, yeah, and you know yourself, anytime you get on, say, Pancake Swap or any of the swaps or anything like that, they ask you to connect your wallet, right? Well, that's actually a transaction, you know. Now, it doesn't cost any money, but, you know, your wallet will pop up and you actually have to authorize the connection. Right?
So the moment you authorize it, it means that you've given permission for your data.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But you'll probably find that, I mean, like I said, this is all very new, so we probably haven't seen all, you know, because there'll be limitations that you can set, and like, you know, like anytime it's kind of like smart contracts too, you know, you can allocate, like you can design a smart contract, and the whole point of that is it can't be changed, but it can be updated, you know. So whatever you're putting on the blockchain, you know, that physical thing can't be changed, but you might be able to change certain limitations on it, you know, or maybe you say, okay, you can use this for 1 day or something like that.
Okay. So now, how do we access? I want to go. How do we access Web3? So, I mean, I guess that we are having this space in Web2, right? So, if let's say I want to be in Web3, how do I access Web3?
Okay. When we're talking about accessing Web3, it's not really something that is really more of virtual or something thick. Now, we're talking about Web3, accessing Web3. I know a lot of us have actually delved into Web3. We started using Web3, though we may not have known. Now, in accessing Web3, you can actually access Web3 from any device at all. It could be your phone, it could be your tablet, it could be your computer, so long you have internet connectivity. Now, take for example, when you trade cryptocurrency, you have a crypto wallet in any of the apps or similarly. Also, when you have any of these blockchain stuffs or some 3D uh, apps and web apps, they probably have started using Web3. Now, there's a decent chance that you've already used all of these decentralized applications, even though you may not have actually known. Now, for example, a lot of us have these wallets on our Android and iOS phones, etc. Now you see that when you use all of these blockchain, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, and the rest, you're actually using Web3. So, in basic terms, accessing Web3, you can do it with any device that is internet enabled, your smartphone, your computer, your tablet, as the case may be. And it is simply with the use of any of these apps that is built on Web3.
Okay, so the platform itself is the gateway to Web3. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it depends on the platform. So um, okay. So once I go on a platform, like let's say, uh, give me any app,
Let's take Trust Wallet for example.
Trust Wallet. Okay, so I'm engaging in the Web3 space because Trust Wallet is built on Web3, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting because I was going to ask that, is Web3 already around? Like, are there any Web3 economies or projects out there that we can see? Because uh, yeah, so I guess there are.
Yeah, certainly there are. Whenever you work with all of these blockchain technologies come with any of these cryptocurrency technologies, all of these, they're actually being built on Web3. So it's something that's already around us. It's just that uh, people have not really got so much involved in it. It's just going to take a little more time. The earlier that everyone tries to appreciate the usefulness of this Web3, the quicker the evolution, or rather the revolution, is going to be. You get it?
So which people are then, which class of people, set of people, categories of people are engaging in it, and which categories of them are left out?
Well, like we said, there's Web 3.0. It's basically for all of us. So everyone actually is expected to get into it. Now, like for the low end users, majorly, you know that we say, okay, how do I start where I don't even have any basic knowledge of computing at all? Well, as the tech companies, the earlier they quickly appreciate this and start building apps based on Web3, then you see that we are users, we the users ourselves, the low end users, we still need to make use of these apps. Discover that we are altogether making contributions to engaging in it ourselves. So when the tech companies or those who have brought themselves to make use of the web or to provide services using this Web3, or as they go into it, and we, the other set of users, we try to appreciate it and engaging in the use of these services or apps that are being brought, they discover that we are already trying to appreciate its use. And the quicker we do it, the earlier the revolution is going to come, the quicker the revolution is going to come.
Okay, I want to ask something and share something, but I want us to go around the room and see if anyone in the audience has any contribution to what we just talked about now, or any question. I see John, you are requesting to speak. Um, John, John, you are accepted. You can click on your microphone and unmute and
Hello.
speak. Let's hear from you. Yeah, welcome,
Yes.
John.
Good afternoon. I
Yeah, good
actually just
afternoon.
came
Yeah,
into the space now. I just wanted to give my own contribution to Pi Network for everybody out there, because I brought an idea to Pi Network, to the Blockstorm, and I need to the Brainstorm rather, and I need everybody to be responsive to it. And I'll say it right now, is PiPlay is a platform, an app, and an ecosystem too, where hope I can continue.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I
Like,
mean,
I know it's not
yeah,
among what you guys were
you're,
talking about.
yeah, you are deviating.
Yes.
You are doing promo. You are using promotion to deviate from what we are
No,
talking
I'm
about.
not promoting it. Like, it's actually an idea that I would like everybody to look into. I just want to say it is, you don't have to do it. Like, I just want to put it out there, let it be out there to everybody. I know it's not
Yeah, I can.
I know it's not among what you guys were talking about before I got into the space, but if I can continue, I can just say it and then we can continue.
Okay, just say
Yeah,
it quickly.
it's a Pi Place. It's an app and ecosystem and a platform where Pi Network can connect with Play Store, and it needs the voting system. It needs you guys to look into it. It needs you guys to agree with it. It needs the pioneers to agree with this. So yes, I just wanted to let you guys know that this idea actually exists in the brainstorm, and you can look into it and put your effort into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Thanks,
yeah,
John. That was a very lucky promo you got.
yeah. That is honestly, yeah.
Okay.
Chance came
So
to us, so I just took it. All right, thanks
okay.
for
Yeah.
the everything, man.
They say if you want something, you ask for it. And, well, good luck. Anyways, Ovan, I can see you trying to speak. Ovan, let us just have you before we go on. Are you? Do you have a contribution on what we just talked about now, or a question? Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes. Hello, Dragon Picture. You've gotten your flames. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay. Let's. I think you guys are not ready. Yusuf, let's have Yusuf. Um, please just keep the contribution or question regarding what we just talked about on Web3 before we move on.
You guys are talking about Web3.
Yeah, that's the topic. You can see it at the top of the screen.
Okay, yes, I'm just seeing it. Okay. My own contribution to Web3 for Pi Network is that if possible, anyways, let me hear what everybody has to say before I bring it up. So I'll just mute for now.
Okay. Okay. Yusuf, you are unmuted. You can now click on your microphone and speak. Okay. I don't think Yusuf is speaking. Okay, so I'll just proceed with where I wanted to go. So we were just talking about Web3 is around and how to access it, and Eugene mentioned the Trust Wallet as an example and all. So I mean, if all of these are Web3, hold on, I'll just share something on the dashboard there on the space screen so everyone can see. I mean, 1 second. Okay, so I just shared a tweet, a tweet from Elon Musk on the dashboard there. It says, "Has anyone seen Web3? I can't find it." And I'll share another one. I'll share another one now. It says, "Yeah, I just did." It says, "I'm not suggesting Web3 is real. Seems more like a marketing buzzword than reality right now." A marketing buzz. So, why do you think? Why do you think Elon Musk would discredit Web3 like this? Yeah, Eugene. Hello, Eugene. You there?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, the question again.
Yeah, so you can check on the screen on the Spaces dashboard there. Go to the Spaces screen if you're not there. And I shared two tweets from Elon Musk, and it was kind of like discrediting Web3, saying has anyone seen Web3? I can't find it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then says it seems more like a marketing buzzword than reality right now. But he's wondering what the future will be like in 10, 20, 30 years from now. It's kind of alluding that right now Web3 is not real, but in the next 10, 20 years, maybe it would be real. Why do you think it's saying something like that?
Oh, well, if I may say, you know, Elon Musk is somebody who is more of this digital guy and into blockchain technology, you know. Um, Web3 actually is something that is very, very real, like we all know. Even though a lot of people still have a lot of concerns about it based on some challenges that may actually come, such as, for example, being permissionless. Okay, what about the downsides of it? So, well, in 10 to 20 years' time, I believe that Web3 will actually come up because looking at the evolution of different technology, especially the blockchain technology, and looking at the importance of it, it's something that is actually going to tell more in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Now, these are some of the things that Elon Musk is trying to talk about now. Trying to say that it's not real. Well, to me, um, I really think that I anyway, talking about Elon Musk about his particular tweet, I saying it's more than a marketing buzzword than reality right now. And just wondering what it could be. That in 2051 sounds futuristic. But I don't really think that Elon Musk. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello, we can hear you. We lost Eugene.
Do you want me to chime in?
Yes. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
can
Okay.
anyone
yeah,
hear me?
yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
I wanted to answer your question about Elon Musk.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yes, my own personal um, thought on why he would say something like that is that he is very Elon Musk mostly focuses on like physical technology, and Web3 is almost everything is all about the internet. And he's now questioning the fact that could this now be good for humanity? Could this work out for us? Could this be a good idea that would actually make a good impact on humanity and everything? And I would say yes, because his tweet even is from last year, and a lot has happened from that time period to now. Web3 have actually developed a lot from December 2021 till this time we are right now, especially the metaverse and crypto and even Pi itself. So Web3 is actually showing that it exists already, because Web3 is all about the metaverse and human beings and all of us having total control of our data, which Pi has given us that already. Pi Network has given us total control of our data, which is Web3. The metaverse too, NFTs, all these things, they are Web3s, and we can see them already. We can see them coming to life. We can see crypto coming to life. So we can see countries legalizing crypto. We can see Web3 itself. Is the fact that it doesn't have an app yet. Is the fact that it's not like Google yet. Is the fact that Facebook hasn't put the impact of Web3 on Facebook, on Instagram, and all these other popular apps. So probably when it's on these popular apps, then we'll see the fact that Web3 is already here. We
I'm
are in
picking.
Web3 already.
I'm picking one thing from what you said, which
Yeah.
is the fact about humanity. Yeah, maybe this concern about how will it benefit humanity. So I'm like, okay, in my own understanding of things. Okay, Eugene mentioned something about it earlier on that it just is certain. It's not. It's not everyone that is aware of it, that appreciates it currently. It's just like a certain less percentage of the people. So
Yeah.
it's kind of not. Should I say it's not accessed by humanity yet? So the fact that it's not an open playground yet for the rest of humanity, that maybe that's why maybe you could say he doesn't see it yet, because
Yeah.
it's not yet in the hands of the people. The people are not really
Yes, exactly.
the people are shut out of it.
Because
Yeah.
if you ask me, Web3 is actually expensive to have, because in order to for Web3, in order for you to experience Web3 itself, you have to experience the metaverse, you have to experience NFT, you have to experience crypto, which all these things now is getting more and more expensive for regular random people for
Yeah, meaning
just.
that all these things come with investment, which the
Yes,
regular everyday
exactly.
people cannot
Which
afford to
Pi
invest.
is giving us right now. So I feel like Web3 is here, and people just need to open their eye more into investing and not questioning the fact whether it's real or not. If someone actually put their mind like Pi now, if someone actually just continued mining despite the fact whether it was real or despite the fact whether it wasn't real, they would be in a better situation now than just questioning themselves and leaving their app by um by the side there without even opening it or
Okay.
mining.
Okay.
So people should actually put their mind in it and invest into it, not just question whether it's there or it's not there. So if people can invest in it, if people can, because we are the one actually giving all these things their power. If nobody is using it, they won't have all this kind of power. So if people are actually using it, if people are actually giving it that power, then it will have that power, because it can't just generate the power out of the blue, because nobody will use it then, but we
Okay.
have to use it for it to
Yeah.
generate that power. So actually, it actually depends on us. We
Yeah.
have to give it that power.
Thanks,
So my
John.
personal thought is that, yeah, that's just it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John. Another John wants to speak. Maybe he wants to counter you. I don't know. Another John. So John 2, you can speak. He's connecting. So yeah, John 2, you can unmute your mic and speak. You're not a speaker. John 2, you can unmute your mic, click on your mic and unmute it and speak. Okay. I don't think you're ready to speak now. Okay. IQ, any points?
Yeah, I mean, Elon, he likes to mess around on Twitter, so there's no way he doesn't know what Web3 is.
Yeah, I
like,
gotta. It may be that he's trolling, right?
yeah, of course he's trolling. But I mean, look, Web 3.0, it's blockchain, decentralization, and open source technologies, right? Now, anyone that uses decentralized exchanges, automated market makers, smart DeFi, or even in the governance DAOs, if you're using any of that sort of stuff, you're using blockchain, So, and we know ourselves, just in our Pi network, there's 33 million of us using that, So obviously, everyday people aren't into blockchain technologies yet, but like John said before, Web3 is well and truly here already.
All right, so thank you everyone for your contribution so far. Mr. John, I really appreciate the light you threw on it, and sorry for the interruption the other time. So, like we were just saying, for Elon Musk, I would just want to let everyone that is listening right now to understand that first of all, whenever something, let's bring it to something that is more physical. For example, now when you're trying to make some road constructions, we observe that sometimes it may take a lot while, and while the construction is in place, a lot of persons would not be comfortable because it's going to cause a lot of hazards on the way, trying to see how they can maneuver other roads and the rest. So these are some of the challenges that Elon Musk was just trying to foresee some of the challenges and was like, how does it look like? But I would want to bring our mind back to the evolution of cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, which are most of the highest crypto what's these days. Discovered that a lot of people, when it all started, some were like, even to today, some are still doubting, is this thing real? Is this thing real? But today we can see that it is something that is very much real, and it's growing by the day. So every one of us, we just have to understand that despite that, like John said, it is growing, and every day by day it is coming up. So we all just have to channel our channel on Web3. When we all put up our minds in revolutionizing this Web3, engaging ourselves in these Web3 services, we discover that in even less than 10 years, the whole of it can just come up, and those who are still doubting now, they will be like, if if I had known then, I would have joined the evolution. So let's not get back on it. Hello, Mr. Woody, are you there?
Oh yeah, sorry, my mic was mute and I did not know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, great. So I think remember at the beginning remember we said we let everyone know that Eugene is not a pioneer. So he's not into Pi Network. But who knows? Maybe by the end of this space, he'll automatically become a pioneer when when he learns so much about Pi Network. And but now, so let's see how does Pi. Let's bring in Pi now into the discussion. Very proper. Yeah. How is Pi built into all of these? Like IQ. So I want you to champion this here.
Oh,
So yeah, we've heard that Pi is a Web3 project, yeah, and we've just discussed Web3 in different angles. Talking about data, talking about connectivity, and so on and so forth. So, how does Pi fit into this? How is Pi built into this actually?
It's hard to say at the moment because we really don't know a lot about what Pi can do. I mean, we don't even know that it's going to have NFTs and all that, but the assumption is all that is going to be on there. I keep on looking back into the Stellar blockchain just because we're a fork of Stellar, so you can kind of get a feel of what they're doing is what we can do. One of the things Stellar had from the very start was an inbuilt decentralized exchange. So there's an assumption that Pi Network might have that as well if it's a clone copy of the network. But I mean, it's blockchain. So immediately, we're going to have wallets and finance and coins. Are we going to be having? I mean, Nicholas has talked about, are we about, whether we're going to be creating tokens and stuff like that under the ecosystem. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to do that, like create our own coins or anything like that. It's kind of a watch and see at the moment with Pi Network. We've got to wait for announcements.
Okay, before I engage on that and go for that, I want to allow God's favor requesting. God's favor. I don't know why I feel like you have something to say. So God's favor, yeah, you can now unmute your mic and speak. Yeah, God's favor.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was not aware that I've been unmuted. Okay, good day, everyone.
Okay.
I just have
Yeah.
few questions to ask because recently I have been coming across the Space Pie, who seems to be on the space here with us as well. I don't know if this is actually related to the Pi Network. That's my question.
Sorry, come again.
I mean, the Space Pie. You must have come across a Space Pie. I don't know if it's related to the Pi Network. I would really like to get more light about it.
So you'd have to Twitter them or something because yeah, you have to Twitter them to find out about their stuff. But they're not built on Pi Network. I think they're not built on Pi Network blockchain. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go back to IQ then. Sorry. Okay. Let me unmute Pi Network project. Pi Network project.
Hello.
Hold on, John. Pi Network project. Pi Network project. You can now unmute your mic and speak. Yeah, go on. Okay. I don't think you have something to say. Okay, yeah. So, IQ, back to you on how Pi is built into all of this. And also, I remember Eugene was talking. Eugene helped us establish something about, you know, platform. So the platform is the gateway to Web3. And for an example, he mentioned Trust Wallet. And why? Because you have your wallet. You have your wallet, and you have your wallets and you can connect to different decentralized applications that are built on Web3. So that is the platform. And I would guess that the platform we have for that is the Pi browser, right? So the Pi browser is Web3.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And I
So,
also feel the Brainstorm can
Yeah.
also be Web3.
Yeah, I mean, like the in the Pi browser, you'll see at the top corner there. I mean, we've got our own Pi wallets and stuff like that, and currently we access those through using our passphrase or our fingerprint. But if you see in the Pi wallet up in the top corner, we have the Pi icon, which gets us to our home button. Now, I assume that that'll transform into something like MetaMask, so you'll just have you have your passphrase will open that obviously, but you'll be using your a password or something. It's something a lot easier to access that, or even your fingerprint. I guess that's what we've got already. But the
okay,
Pi
good.
wallet is going to be your main access point.
Yeah, so we'll be connecting, just like we established earlier in Web3, we are not connecting with emails, Facebook accounts, and all of that. We are connecting with wallets.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's why there's such a huge push on the KYC, being one individual for each wallet address, because when we get more into the ecosystem, they want to make sure that, we are who we say we are and all that.
Okay. And so, how is Pi then revolutionizing Web3? If Web3 is, we've established what Web3 is, but how is Pi Network changing Web3 as we know of it? So, like, for example, crypto was there, since Bitcoin, and yeah, it has been going a certain way, and we are all aware of how Pi Network has come in and it is revolutionizing crypto. Yeah, crypto on its own is a revolution, but Pi Network is like Veda Sith said in our last space. The Pi Network is revolutionizing the revolution. So it's changing the game of crypto and all of that. So far, like we've established today, Web3 has also been there. There are platforms, although humanity has not gotten has not gotten access to it and all. So how is Pi Network revolutionizing this Web3 revolution?
Can I say something? Okay.
Yeah, well, Pi's doing things in the opposite direction. They've been onboarding pioneers, to get their user base built up first. So you'll see, like, there's no other blockchain that has,
Hello.
33 million people already. So with that user base, when they come on, and things like transaction speed and all that type of thing, you see all these, like I said, we're a clone of Stellar and all that. Speed of blockchain and all that's going to become important as well. But to get everything in people's hands, you'll see that there's a real push for mobile technology, because everyone pretty well has a mobile. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people in the world that don't have them, but essentially, there's a large portion of the population that has mobiles, and through the mining mechanism, you just need you download the app and have an access code, and you're already mining Pi. So that's where they're revolutioning everything.
So it's
Can I
actually
add
like,
something?
yeah, John.
Yeah. If you also ask me, I feel like Pi being decentralized on its own is a very, very big impact on Web3, because one main characteristic of Web3 is that it's decentralized, is not controlled by anybody, no ICO, nothing, nobody is controlling it. And Pi has given us that nobody is in control of our wallet, nobody is in control of our app. We are controlling every single thing by ourselves. We are doing everything we want to our Pi app, our Pi browser, our own wallet, our own KYC. Like, everything is owned by us. Nobody is controlling it for us, except the moderator that is KYC us. But apart from that, Pi is decentralized, and Pi has given us that opportunity. So I feel like Pi is Web3 itself too, through the Pi browser and everything. Yeah, that's just it.
Great, great, great. So one moderator said, before the hype of Web3, so Pi has been built for Web3 based on the ideas that we are seeing coming to life gradually over time. It's reflecting that this has been in ideation for a longer time than before the hype started. The buzzword, the marketing buzzword, as Elon Musk would say, started. But I want to ask something. So some remarks that some venture capitalists and some other experts or so. Sorry, I lost Eugene here. Eugene, please send a request to speak when you get back. You're not on the speakers list anymore. So some have said that some have called Web3 like the creator's economy. Some have said it is the reinvention of capitalism, or it's the users and builders economy. So what do all of these mean? Like, what do this mean when you say it's the creator's economy? It's what's the economic,
Look,
angle to it here?
if you ask me, I feel like we should go back to Web 2 and ask ourselves what Web 2 was. Web 2 wasn't, um, it wasn't us that was in control of Web 2. We were just in Web 2 doing whatever whoever was in control of it wanted. We only had a little impact on Web 2. But now Web 3 has shut that down. It has totally closed that down. So the economic impact is that it's not owned by anybody. It's still we, the human, it's still us that is still in control of it. So whatever we choose for it to be is what it will actually be.
Yeah, I want the audience to try and understand this in a practical sense.
Okay.
Yeah, in a practical sense. Like, yeah, it was a good thing you said. Let us drop back to Web 2, maybe to understand um, how Web 3 is a creator's economy. So what's the economy like in Web 2? Um, how does the economy function in Web 2? So maybe we can start from there. IQ, and see how the economy will. be like in Web3? Let's understand how it's a creator's economy.
Well, I guess I go back to the old sharing of data, and John's got a good point there too. We're removing third parties. We're always asking permission to do things. I mean, you only have to put cash into a bank account, and it won't even matter how much, but they'll ask you where it came from. Now the banks are just supposed to be providing security for our money, right? But they're interfering, and anytime you want to send money overseas, well, that takes days and all that, and all they're doing is delaying it so they can make money on your capital on the overnight money markets. So that removal of third-party interaction is a huge thing. When I go back to your data sharing and all that, you talk about creator economy. When you're creating your things, like just say like artwork. If you're creating artwork, you kind of have to go through galleries and stuff like this. Another third party that will take a portion of your profits, but they're not just taking 10% or whatever. They take 50-60% of your things. So
What? 60%? Majority?
Yeah, absolutely they will. Yeah, because they've without them, you can't get in front of the customers. Now we've got a lot of things now, with like, say eBay, Etsy, all this sort of thing where we can kind of get in front of customers. But unless you're being promoted on the front pages, because we've seen a lot of all those things where the big corporations come in and they just overwhelm the front pages of all their stuff. So as a small creator, you can't really get anywhere. But under the new economies, when you whatever you create, you'll always own that. And sometimes too, you have to give up. Like you look in the music business, to make an album or whatever, they have to give up the rights to their music. So they don't even own their music anymore. Whereas under the blockchain, you will always own those things, right? And no matter where they go in perpetuality, you'll get a commission on that.
Okay. That's interesting. So that word jumped in here, which is Veda Sith, our previous speaker from KYC space and Pi Day space. I guess you got some
Yeah, thanks a lot.
points.
Pi Revolution. Yeah, just tuned in and the discussion is going great. Thanks a lot. And a lot of nice and interesting inputs there. Actually, IQ has just summed it up so well. I was going to talk about how much there's so much of a need for creators in Web 2, like the pre-Web 3 era, where you have to pass through someone, a third party. For example, YouTube and stuff. You are a creator, you make YouTube videos, but for you to get onto a big platform like YouTube, you're basically having to put it's almost like you are begging for that space. But with Web3, from the way I understand it and the way you guys have elaborated, it's more like a creator in his own space, as long as they have access to a blockchain platform. For example, the NFT layer of blockchains, you can basically publish your art and make gains from your art directly from you as the creator to the seller, as opposed to going through a promoter or a provider, someone who gets paid a huge chunk of commission out of your work. And most of the time, you find that creators have been getting peanuts from what they've actually done, and while the big corporations out there have gained more than the actual creators. So you really have to appreciate that Web3 probably gives ownership back to the hands of the creator, back to the hands of artists, painters, musicians, and so on. Yeah, so thanks a lot.
Let me understand something here. So if YouTube was Web3, how would it be any different? I mean, what would the the economic engagement between the platform and the creator be like? How would the platform earn money then if Web3 is not allowing the platform to take a commission from your work?
Okay, maybe a very brief example would be if the YouTube app was on the Pi Network. Whatever transactions happen, like let's say you're submitting a video or people are accessing your video. This is just hypothetical. People are accessing your video streams, and the network protocol says any transaction that moves in terms of money from one pioneer to the other is a 0.01 pi. That is all you have to pay for each. So if you're downloading something, if you're accessing someone's video, for example,
Yeah.
the YouTube app or whichever creator the YouTube app, for example, would be supported on nodes. Why we go through YouTube is because it's on centralized nodes owned by what used to be Google, what's Alphabet now. So we are paying to access their infrastructure and the platform they've created. But if you have apps that are decentralized, they are existing on a decentralized platform, such as the Pi browser, for example, through apps and dApps that people have created through the Brainstorm apps and so on. Those are now going to be supported on various nodes around the world. So that is where the difference comes in. I hope it's a bit clear.
Okay, I have one
I
specific
also
question.
had to.
Okay, go on, John.
I would like to add to what you say. If YouTube was also a blockchain, let's just call it like that, like Web3. If YouTube was a blockchain, any content being created by a content creator is going to be only charged once, not every single time. What YouTube does is that for every single content you create, they take from that content. But instead of being just once, for you to own an account in YouTube, they're just supposed to charge you once. But when you then post on that account regularly, they charge you for that regular post and they gain from it continuously, which is bad. It's not like they're gaining 1% of what you're posting, they're gaining more than 20%, more than 30% of what you're posting, and you are getting peanuts for whatever you're creating, which is bad. They are basically owning your property more than you are owning your own property. So that's the difference.
Okay. I want some requests here. Ifan, let's get more.
If I can just add something as well,
Okay.
it's don't forget you're asking YouTube to monetize your channel as well. All right, so again, you're asking for permission to make money on your content.
Oh, okay. Okay, now, okay, how does YouTube make money, first of all? By ads, right? Someone get me clear, because I want to understand how the money will then come to the creator if it's a decentralized platform from the blockchain. So I make my video and I upload it. YouTube makes the money because they have the platform, right? They make the money through advertisements, right? And they give me a percentage, lesser percentage, right?
No,
So okay,
that's
okay.
not just it. YouTube, when you create a content on YouTube, you have to get more than, I think, a thousand like or 10,000 views before you personally gain from that. But during that 1 to 1,000 view, during that 1 to 10,000 view, YouTube is already gaining from it, but they are not paying you for that until you get to their minimum like or their minimum view before they now pay you, which is bad. So do you get?
Okay, yeah, I got that, but I want to know how the money, where the money comes from, and how it goes to the creator if it's on the Web3 platform. So,
Us
how
using
does
our data to view something on YouTube is already giving them money. So for every data being spent in the YouTube app is how they get their money. Our data, mobile data, internet data, as we are spending it inside the YouTube app, they are gaining from it. Not just us viewing their video and viewing as we are inside the app already, while we are using our mobile data, they are gaining from us being there.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm satisfied yet. I'm still, like I said, I
What do
wanted
you?
to
It'll be
mention.
through smart contracts.
Okay.
I assume it's through smart contracts. So when we get the smart contract ability, when you post some content, you'll have smart contracts. If you want to sell it, or allow people use of it, you'll have a smart contract set up that people agree to when they use your content. That's the mechanism, I would assume.
Oh, okay. When you agree to when they stream your content or use your content. Sorry. Who's
Hello,
that?
hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good
My
afternoon.
name is Ehis, and I want to contribute more on the aspect of how YouTube gains revenue. There are very
Okay.
many ways through which they gain revenue. Like for instance, now they harvest user data. Your data is valuable, don't you know? So many of these companies they fight for your data actually, and they are willing to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just for that your personal data, because that's how they can sell to you. That's how you can see all these ads popping up, because the algorithm knows you and knows your preferences and what you can buy. You understand? So that's just the whole point. So, and apart from that, so time and many other things. So they gain through your card, your subscription. There are people who subscribe. So you understand? They have all these means of gaining from you. So all you just need to do is that what Web3 does is that it gives you the power to earn from this process. So thank you very much.
Through through smart contracts, like Ike just said. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it means that if someone wants to stream my video, the person will have to pay me some pie to be able to
Directly.
stream the video.
Yes, directly. So it will be a one-on-one. The power is in the hands of the creators now, of the content creators. It's no longer in the hands of the third parties. It's no longer in the hands of the companies, big companies. You understand? That's the whole point of
Wow.
Web3 and decentralization.
So no more free streaming of videos. Is that
I
what it
believe in the
means?
nearest future, if YouTube does not adapt and adapt the new technology on ground, they would go obsolete also. You understand? Like we can't begin to mention the dot-com bubble of 2000, 1999. You understand? If you go back, you look at a company can just rise up with just .com on the name, and it will be worth billions. That's a bubble because they didn't provide value. So right now, Web3 an opportunity for you to capture a lot of value. You understand? Even you just participating in the network alone, you understand? You being a node, being a validator, or just mining alone, you are a contributor to something much greater. And exactly like what is stated in there, you have to look at the future, look at 20, 30 years into the future and see how things would have evolved. And we've been on the front line now. We are like on the front line of something great. You understand? So it's just for us to just play it out and learn as much as we can, grow as much as we can in the process. I believe all is well, all is good.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, the idea of free streaming going away. Uh, yeah, so
I
it.
feel like it's not going away. In Pi now, as they said, for every transaction being made is 0.01%, and I'm sure it's going to reduce drastically in the near future. And with that transaction, when someone streams your video, is how you also get paid from those transactions. So
But
someone can still
the
view your video, but now they are paying you to view your video, not paying Pi Network itself. They are paying you directly to view your video.
I thought, isn't transaction fees meant for nodes,
No,
nodes
it's not just
rewards?
meant for Node. It's like meant for pioneer to pioneer. And for pioneer to pioneer to happen, meaning that you have to have something that connects you and the pioneer together. So someone streaming your video is connecting you and the pioneer together. So a transaction is also being made there. That is Web3 too.
No, the transaction being made is probably the agreed fee, right?
Yes,
But
the agreed fee.
the transaction fee is the cost of that transaction.
Yeah,
So it's
the transaction fee is not yet. I feel like it's going to reduce from that 0.01 and it will reduce drastically. We don't know what it is for Pi Network. It could be different for YouTube, it could be different for other apps when they get into Web3. But that transaction fee, whatever is going to be what you are going to be paid, not what the company is going to be paid. You are going to be getting that money personally, not the company, because a pioneer to pioneer, that is a pioneer to pioneer, the transaction fee is also having a percentage here so that you can have it, so that you can gain from your own content.
okay. Let's have Pi Network requesting to speak, and I guess Justin Wu will be here shortly. Let me send him a message and check. Yeah, Pi Network, you're allowed to speak.
Please excuse me. I have a question. Is concerning Space Pi. I don't see the connection of Space Pi to the Pi network first of all, and I see them everywhere on Twitter, and I don't know if is it legit, is it real, or is it a scam? I don't know. Let's clarify something now, please.
So, what like someone asked earlier, I told them they can tweet at Space Pi and to learn more details about the project. But from what I know, it's not built on Pi Network, so I don't think we have anything to do with that because it's built on Binance Smart Chain, so that's not Pi Network, right? So yeah.
But they keep on masquerading themselves as Pi, like as part of the Pi network.
Yeah, so every partner will have to do its best to, should I say, learn, and because there are so many projects that will come up, and until we can see, if they are legit,
Can
we
I answer
cannot really
him
say.
personally too?
Can you what? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Space Pi. I don't know if you've also heard of Pi Inno. These are also token. These are like personal projects from pioneers, I feel like, into the Pi blockchain. It's like giving an idea in the brainstorm, creating an app, all these things. So SpacePi could be a way for transaction between Binance blockchain and Pi Network. So it it's actually an idea built from a pioneer. I feel like it's not like it's on Pi blockchain itself. It's everybody is
Okay,
bringing up their own contribution to the network, the Web3. So that's it. That's what me I personally feel like, because it's not just space flight. There's also a token called Pi Inu, and they are
yeah.
also saying that it's Pi network or Pi blockchain to Pi network. So it's just pioneers bringing up their own idea, their own impact into Pi network and Web3, so that you can have transaction between other crypto exchanges and Pi Network, because Pi Network is not directly connected to any exchange. Pi Network is a decentralized network on its own, so it's not connected to any exchange. So for you to transact with other exchange, maybe that's where they come in. And I'm not sure yet. We don't know
Okay.
too yet.
Until we see that,
Yeah.
Abdallah, you accepted. You can speak. Abdallah Saad. Stankovic also, I'm accepting you.
Oh,
You can drop
okay,
your questions.
okay. So
Hello?
thanks for the clarification. But like I want to know
Hello?
like how would if you say these projects are legit,
Can I speak now, please?
and
Hold on, Stankovic. Sorry.
if you say
Um,
these projects are legit, how would they benefit the network in the long run if it's not adhering to the overall goals of the network? Because right now everything is like going helter skelter. There's no coherence to it. So I don't know how this will benefit the network in any way.
Oh no, I'm not saying the project is legit. I'm saying that it's an idea from a pioneer that wants to put an impact into Pi Network. So we don't know anything for sure about it. But how they will gain is also through the Pi transaction.
Okay, Stankovic, yeah, you can speak now.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay. See, I just want to. Somebody was talking about Space Pie, and many people were just saying different things about Space Pie. There's a guy there I'm seeing right now, Space Pie, is listening. So, for we to get a clearer view or for us to understand what Space Pie is all about, we can call on him so that let him explain to us. He's there.
yeah, they will have to send a request to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, just like you did.
Okay.
Okay, so IQ, any other? Sorry, oh sorry, I muted everyone by mistake. So yeah,
Hello.
I there was an angle that we didn't talk about that I had it in the list about AI, AI being talked about. I keep hearing about AI in the talks of Web3, and what exactly it's AI and how it functions as a component in this Web3 space that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think one of the big leaders in this that we've yet to really see is IBM and the Watson project. Initially, I know it was started to concentrate on medicine, and so you'll get like telemedicine and telesurgery. This project's been going on for a long time. Also, this ties into all your smart cities and digital twins and all that type of thing, with their smart buildings and, assessing air quality and all that type of thing. So for me, and there's a lot of AI projects around, but the main one for me I see is IBM Watson.
You mentioned about smart cities and all that. Uh, is it like relating to Internet of Things? Because I hear Web3 is also about Internet of Things and
Yeah,
how is that the tech the should I say algorithm or something that makes this Internet of Things possible or
yeah. So like with digital twins and that, all your governments at the moment are all, and all your local councils and all that, they're all creating digital twins of all your cities and everything. So they've got a replication of that, and in that they can simulate all your traffic and your power supplies and your water supplies and everything like that, air quality and all that. And then using the AI technology, they can assess all the data and make predictions on how neural networks and all that type of thing of how traffic flows will be contained, and so they can do everything virtually before they have to implement it in the real world.
okay? That is now that's something. That's something. I wanted you to give like examples of devices also that because smart, we hear smartphones, we hear smart TVs. Now we're having smart cities. We're having smart. I mean, why is everything even called smart in the first place?
Yeah, smarts. I mean, there's no real sort of definition of the smart technologies, but it's always sort of been known that everything smart is code for everything under the United Nations and world sustainability and all that. That's why everything's called, smart fridges and smart DeFi and all that type of thing, because they're all sort of, we're establishing standards, so that everything can communicate together. So all your Internet of Things, we've discussed before that, there's Internet of Environments, and these are all connected technologies, and even with, there's a company called Nodl. Now they use, because you've got all these Internet of Things connected into your traffic lights and your parking meters. What else? Oh, your power lines, all this sort of things. They're all talking to each other. But with Nodl, they're even going one step further, where they crowdsource the bandwidth. So people that have got their smartphones, if they sign up to the Nodl network, then they provide extra bandwidth for the Internet of Things devices, right? And then you get paid for providing that service. So it's a way of, using your bandwidth that you don't use when you give. And again, we're talking about, permission of data again, so you give permission and they'll pay you for that, for you providing that service.
Okay, and Web2 has no use of this AI?
Sure. But I mean, it's sort of, AI, it's a lot of mathematics at the moment, and there's different types, that's the thing, and anyone calls anything AI as well. I mean, any computer program they write, they just call it AI, Now, until AI can actually tell you and, discuss with you, why it came to some sort of conclusion, then it's nothing more than a computer program. So we're basically evolving the AI. Just think Star Wars or iRobot or, any of these movies where you've got robots and everything, where they're actually conversing and, now they don't have anything. In the end of the day, they're still ones and zeros propagating around, but, they become more real and they can interact with us better, so it's a better way of communicating with everything.
Oh, okay. Eugene, any inputs from you, Eugene? Yeah, your mic is muted. You can unmute, Eugene. Hello, Eugene. Okay. Pi Queen, you wanted to speak? You're unmuted. You can unmute your mic and speak, Pi Queen. Questions or contributions? And the speakers will answer. Meanwhile, Justin Wu will be here shortly. Okay, I think Eugene is having a connection issue. You can send a request again, Eugene. I lost you. Okay. He's gone until he comes back then. Okay, yeah, so back to can everyone, sorry, my mic is unmuting. So back to Pi's involvement and being built into all of this, as we are yet to see the full potential and learn more about things that Pi has in store and all of these things. But how do you think IQ, since Eugene is not here, I'm directing to you. So, how do you think uh, so this revolution, yeah, I mean, how would Pi impact on the Web3 space? I mean, it's going to lead something, right? I mean, we are already ahead in terms of network size, and that is one of the core things. We have the community. We are we are onboarding the most amount of people in the world onto the Web3 space. How does that break down the doors for other Web3 projects or something? How does this revolution pave the way, the impact for the Pi Web3 revolution?
Well, again, we're sort of guessing because we've got to wait on announcements from the Pi Network. We don't even know where it's going to be going. The Web3 space is essentially blockchain, so we know we have that covered. I know Wes Spencer, on his videos, he's talked about, bringing across things like, where like things with the Brave browser and their wallet and all these other ecosystem apps. It's really a wait and see to see what sort of comes up. But I know like they've announced that Q2 we're going to see Pi apps. So we know we've seen the ones that us developers are doing. But I mean, behind the scenes, you can guarantee that Pi Network isn't just working on their KYC solution. They'll be releasing their own apps for sure. And then we speculate about certain other companies, but don't be surprised if we get an announcement from someone like Amazon or Tesla or someone like Elon's talking about doing either buying Twitter or doing a replacement Twitter. And he's talked about looking at other blockchains. So don't be surprised if everyone's looking at our 33 million users. And don't forget they're not just users; they're customers that are going to have ready-made Pi.
Yeah.
Ready to spend. So that's a huge amount of power, and I guarantee you, people like Amazon and eBay and all these companies are going to be looking at us.
So we're going to command a lot of attention from them, and so when they these platforms you just mentioned, they are built on Web2. Yeah. So when they integrate towards Pi into Pi, the I've always thought about how that works. I mean, how a Web2 platform integrates into Pi and then it changes the platform to become a Web3 platform. How does these things work?
Yeah, so you just got to add in the blockchain, So it's simple. I mean, you can. What's one like? I can't remember the name of one. There's quite a few travel apps. There's one in particular, but they accept cryptocurrencies. And you got like things like crypto.com. They have Visa debit cards and all that you can spend your crypto and all that. So it's essentially just adding a wallet into their ecosystem.
Can I add?
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, too, for anything to become Web3, it would have to first become decentralized. That is, it will have to give away all its rights to the people, meaning that now they are not going to be gaining anything from, they are not going to be gaining much from what they were gaining like usual. So, which is a very, very, very huge impact for most company, because some company may become bankrupt even because of this fact. So Web3 is not even a good idea for every company. So for anything or any app or anybody at all or any company at all to become Web3, it will first have to become decentralized, giving off their right back to the people. That is, everybody now is gaining back their right to whatever they had in that particular company or app or whatever it was. They will gain back their right from it, and that is Web3. That is the beginning step for Web3, decentralization.
Yeah. Eugene, any input on that? I was calling on you earlier.
Please, I would like you to come again with the question on ground.
No, I can't remember the question I asked at that time, but what John just said about Web3 not being good for every company.
May I
Hello.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have mentioned the value of the Pi. I want to know, does the value equate to the price of the Pi, no matter in the future or at the present? And what does it depend on to set the price or set the value of the Pi? May I know these two things? Thank you.
Can I say something to her?
I did not get what she said, Zeng.
She was saying the value of pi and what does he get to get that value of pi. And first of all, the value of pi has no particular value right now. We are the one that is going to give pi its value during this enclosed mainnet period. After KYC, when everybody migrate into the mainnet, when people have their pi in their main pi wallet, and you can purchase anything with your pi, that is when pi start getting value. So whatever you purchase, you need to be careful with how much you are buying it, because from there is how pi will gain its value. Because the blockchain now is going to be recording every single transaction, and the most transaction that is being made, with one pi or with whatever pi is what the blockchain will now calculate as pi value in open mainnet. So it's the pioneers that is going to give pi its value for whatever we purchase with pi. Like for say now, if we buy iPhone 13 with 1.3 pi, given that iPhone 13 is, let's say, $1,300, meaning that pi is going to be $1,000. So if most pioneer does that, then during mainnet it has no choice than to be what we've already used it for. So during this enclosed net is the period for pi to also gain its value. That's it.
Okay, I didn't get her question, but I hope that's helped. Pi Network project you're requesting. You can go ahead with your question.
Thanks for the answer, and I want to know the super node. When does the super node come out? And okay, thank you.
Okay. The man himself is here. Justin Wu is here. I accepted this request to speak. So, John, you may want to answer a question if you want to again.
I didn't even get her question. I didn't even hear her. If she can come again.
Okay. Zen, can you come again just before we call on Justin Wu to say hi?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, Justin. Welcome, and thanks for coming. We've
apologies.
You so much.
Yeah, it was a tiny difference. So thanks again for everybody. Apologies about that again. But happy to be here in Twitter Spaces. I'll definitely be back again, and happy to chat here with everybody in the Pi community as well too.
Great. So before, I know people, I'm getting requests already to speak, but before that, we have talked a lot about Web3 independently, what Web3 is as a subject, and how Pi Network is built as a Web3 project. Maybe you could just throw some light from your end on how Pi Network is Web3 and contributing to the Web3 revolution. One key thing we mentioned though was about Pi Network giving access to humanity on Web3, because majority of Web3 projects out there the common everyday people cannot access it because of the cost, investment, and all of that. But Pi Network is giving access to everyone, so it's kind of changing, the scale of Web3, turning it upside down, and all of those things. So you just give us your insights on Pi and Web3, and I'm sure audiences will want to speak to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to say thanks again for having me on here. It's been great, especially seeing the community and what you guys are doing as well too, and others. Just for everybody, like introduction for myself. I'm currently right now I'm the founder of Decentral. I host Web3 conferences right now in the US, and then expand out into Asia and Europe. Hope to continue to expand out further. But also too, I used to work for the Pi Core team on the community team as well, specifically like things from like Pi Day, Pi 2 Day, from social media as well too. I was helping on that, and I worked alongside with Nicholas and the team, and also work with the other PiKore team members and developers as well. I currently do not work with the PiKore team. I chat with them every now and then. Obviously, the team has continued to build and move, and I could still share kind of like my perspectives and kind of things where things are going, and how I see Pi continue to grow. And obviously, Pi's been having more and more updates. It's still super early on. Clearly, you could see, there's still a lot of things that needs to be hashed out. But in terms of like, Web3 though, Web3 is encompassing a lot of different categories now, in my opinion. We are seeing Web3 mean NFTs for people. Web3 means decentralized finance. Some people are looking at it at other ways for I guess all the different dApps and applications that can be using for monetary or stable coins, or making earning yields off of DeFi as well too. So there's a lot of different angles on how Web3 applies to a lot of people. Obviously all of us, I'm sure, like have been in Pi before, Web3 was even the term. Everybody just saying this is the next blockchain or largest blockchain and crypto project, right?
Well, not me though. I'm quite new.
You've been pushing Web3, yeah. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I think that Web3, is a good way to frame what we're doing.
I'm from China. Where do you from?
Yeah, I'm from the U.S., so I was just born and raised in the U.S. I know that a lot of the PiKore team is in the U.S. as well, but not everybody.
Oh, we really thought they all stay and work together from one location.
Oh no, for sure not. Yeah, PiKore team is global, like all throughout the world. Developers. I'm not sure who all the new developers are now, but there's probably I don't know what the count is now. When I was in the team, there's maybe like 12 plus people. I'm sure there's probably 20 now.
They're like
of course,
30. They're like 30.
30, yeah. Well, yeah, it must have grown much more now. Yeah, since I left. But yeah, a lot of them are very, behind the scenes and quiet. Obviously, communication can continue to improve on that side, but the team is just wanting to always just like be. I guess they're just like focusing on building. And hope to continue to encourage them to try to create content or work with people to create content to communicate what they're up to.
Yeah, I mean, for the content side, I mean, the community has been starving. They keep asking for, we want more content, and it's like whenever we are expecting an update, God, it's like the coming of Jesus Christ. Everyone is waiting for an update, and when an update comes, it takes like the next 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks before another update. And also, yeah, we have starved of content.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, who's speaking?
You say.
Yeah, you got something to say? Okay, Justin, there was something you forgot to mention when you were talking about some of the key stuff that you did, Pi Today and all of that thing. Uh, I think the Pi Hackathon, it was all your
Yep.
efforts, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I did all the well, so I had to build I had to build the Pi Hackathon, Pi convention as well. That only happened once. I'm sure there will be another Pi convention, coin convention, in the future as well too. But yeah, like for me, my role was just like helping. I had to kind of build those events together. My background has been about building events and community, and so I had to like organize the hackathon, had to organize the all the different speaking thing, mod day, Pi 2 Day, Pi Day, all the different celebrations. I did all the write ups for that. Had to go through approvals, obviously, with the core team. But my goal was to try to continue to engage on that end. I also helped try to build a program to help communication up a little bit well, but I try to work with content creators out there, whether it be the mod content education series, when something we saw like just educating people against scams, what the KYC process is, what a blockchain is. Try to help on that end as much as possible. At the time that I worked with Pi, my goal was to try to educate further of the community and whatnot.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I wasn't there during convention. I only heard about it. I joined just when the hackathon was about to start, and I remember I felt quite pain because I was just new and didn't get enough um, background experience in Pi Network to be able to plan, to participate, and all of those things. So, but it was marvelous, and we see the results now from all the utilities and all that have been built from the hackathon, and even not just the winners, but also all that participated and how they have continued to work on their projects.
Yep.
So it's amazing to see that and the growth so far, and then it has led us all into enclosed mainnets, and the enclosed mainnets, it's kind of like a new concept, should I say, because we're like saying, where have we seen an enclosed network of mainnet before? And it's mainnet, but there's still some restrictions and all of that. What do you make of all that? How
Yeah,
important is this?
Yeah, it is different perspectives on it. It is controversial to some people. Some people don't like it because it's not a real open chain yet. What I'll say is, it is the way that PiKYC team wants to go about it, and the I can say for a fact, like the team is like not in a rush. I know that the Pi Network community has always been pressuring or trying to push the team to go full mainnet, launch the token, be open, and everything. I understand that it's taking a couple years. It's like 3-4 years. But if you look at like Cardano or a few other chains, like Cardano, they just finally got smart contracts, and they've been out since like 2016 or earlier, 15,
Yeah,
16.
for
So
8
it's
years,
like
all right?
yeah, or something like that. Like it's like a 5+ years before they even got like smart contracts, and that's just like a really simple thing to get launched. And so like there's patience to kind of come about, because if they, especially for the size of like Pi Network, having 30 million plus people on board, it's the largest network, and so if you launch it fast and they don't perfect a lot of the things that are being developed, or they go about it wrong, then all that's going to be to waste. But also too, you can't revert back once you fully launched the chain publicly and on mainnet and then fully decentralized.
Right.
So that again, this is just the way that the PiKYC team is wanting to go about it. It is different than a typical blockchain, but what I would say that is it's I've seen chain, and to give everybody background too, like I've been working in the industry since 2015 or so. And I started collecting crypto around 2014 or 13, 14, with like Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin early on. I saw Bitcoin go from $100 to 1,000, then it crashed. Then I started working all in on crypto, and when I first learned about Ethereum, 2016 as well. Since
Okay.
then, I've been like working across a lot of different chains. Again, like the conferences that I host, if you look at it's called Decentral Conference. Um, I have like my largest event, I have 5,000 people come through for that event. I hope to get more, but
Wow.
I had over 25 different chains come to my event. Like I'm a multi-chain maxi, so I study different chains now. Like I'm not Bitcoin only, not Ethereum only, not maximum of one thing,
Right.
Stellar, all these other chains, because I think that we're still so early overall. And then also too, I believe that we'll be in a multi-chain future. So just because one chain is doing very well doesn't mean like another chain can't exist as well. I think that there's space for everything, and then interoperability, and
Yeah.
I think that's what Web3 is about. It's not just about being just a single chain. I think people can do different things out there, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I foresee, like Pi Network and the Pi blockchain being able to exist. It's going to be the largest network and largest verified network, hopefully. And I just don't see very many other people or other projects getting to that level.
Yeah,
And
because
it's just massive.
yeah, because when so far we've been working on a promise, right? We've been growing at the level that we are on a promise, but when activity starts, like when it goes fully live and goods and services, the economy is kicking off, the growth should be more rapid. What do you think?
Yeah, I do agree that it should be more rapid. The reality is, the development side is it wasn't until recent, because I've been first my story with Pi Network is like I was working as a contractor, so I wasn't even like a full-time worker yet, and this was maybe like 2 years ago or so.
Okay.
And then I got onboarded a PiKYC team, worked for a year. Nothing wrong. I just wanted to. For me, I've always was a founder, so like I always was wanting to build my own projects. So I felt like after a year, I want to continue to go out and build my own thing, because I've been hosting these Web3 events and conferences, and they were getting bigger and bigger. So that's my only reason why I left. And then by then, the team, as you said, like pretty much doubled now. So now they're spending a lot more. Before, the team was like super small. When I was started, it was like less than 10 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, obviously, it's not like really as much of a secret. Obviously one of the other co-founding team members, Vince, is
Yeah.
no longer with the team. But I worked alongside both Vince and Nicholas and Qingdao. Obviously, they're solving their own, agreed disagreements or whatever from that. But like that didn't necessarily impact the development, because he didn't have to do anything with development. He was doing community. Obviously, he was really great at communication and speaking as well, but that didn't impact the development. I just think that there wasn't just a lot of developers at that time to continue building. But now that the team finally hired more people, like within the past like 5-6 months, development is increasing and getting better. But it takes time now. Once you onboard developers, it's going to take a little bit to fully ramp up and get them up to speed and going as well too.
Okay. Okay. So let's just use this opportunity to get the community also to interact with you and ask 2 questions. I know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I got some requests here. Um, Venkatesh, you can now speak. Anyone else also who's on the speaker list can just unmute and interact. Get your questions for Justin Wu. Okay. Oxchima, ETH, Rudy, unmuted. So I'm just unmuting a bunch of people, so we just go fast. and Shashi. So you're all unmuted. The first to speak goes on. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, feel free to unmute or send a question, and even if you just want to have a conversation about anything that's going on with me, Pi Revolution, and others as well too.
Yeah, okay. So let me just chip this in. I said this at the beginning, but let me just say this for the first time. I didn't mention this to you earlier, Justin, but I think this is the first time I'm mentioning it. So, we started doing these spaces with Pi and the Metaverse, and then we entered Pi NFT, and then we did Pi KYC, and now we're doing Pi Web3. So you can trace a pattern here. We're dealing with next generation uh, internet subjects, prospects, and trying
Mm-hmm.
to get everyone to understand them and see how they can position and see what's up with them and all of that. But where did the inspiration come from? I'm just going to share where the inspiration came from now. On this spaces screen for everyone to see, it was actually from you. I don't know if you can see this comment now on the screen, on the dashboard. Pi NFT, Pi DeFi, Pi DAOs. That's what it's called, right? So I remember when I saw this comment some months back, and as a newbie, I was like, I know, man, I'm so behind. I need to learn about all of these things. I need to know what NFTs, what DeFi, what DAOs, and the other key terms are. And then I was like, okay, why not? Why learn alone? Why not call people who can educate me on this and get everyone along and let the whole community, people who need to learn about this, learn about it. And that's how we started with Metaverse and IQ Spoke and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
NFTs. So we still have two topics, which is DeFi and DAOs. That's what it's called, right? DAOs.
Yeah,
Oh,
DAOs.
okay, yeah. So we still have DeFi and DAOs coming up. That's the next two topics. I don't know which one will be first. We have not decided, but
Yeah. I could talk about. I'll start with DeFi first. So DeFi is decentralized finance,
okay.
and
But
clearly,
but
like,
sorry, but that would not be now in this space. We are going to organize another DeFi space. So
yeah. Okay.
separate space for
Yeah, we'll
DeFi
talk
and
more
separate
about
space for
that.
DAO.
Yeah, Pi DeFi
Yeah,
is still not here yet, and we'll talk more about that in the future as well too.
yeah, great. Okay, so everyone, you can learn Pi. Yeah, I'm sure learn Pi will definitely speak. Pi coin. You guys speak. I'm unmuting you guys now, and any person who I unmute who's not speaking, I may just have to remove you from the speaker list so other people can get a slot to speak. Yeah. Um.
Hey, hello everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Uh, I'm from Pakistan. I'm just asking to you that I am following Pi application from round about 2 or 3 years ago, but still there is no value or nothing is update. Any? Can you brief about it?
You're talking about like what? There's no Pi token, no Pi value. Is you want me to comment on that part, or I guess just for clarity on your question?
Yeah, he was talking about value.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and that's why like everybody wants Pi to go mainnet, because they want Pi to have transactional value, dollar value, or real use case. I think that the everybody wants that, and again, like the team is not in a rush to do that, just only because they're still working on the development of the platform, but also too, I'd imagine from what the internal projects were like, they were figuring out both the KYC and mass KYC process before going that, because like that, if that wasn't solved or still isn't solved, then it's like you can't open up the network or get it fully decentralized, at least in the way that they want to go about it, the PiKYC team. And so they were trying to solve those problems first before launching the token out, because if they didn't solve that, assuming that if they want to follow the rule that they have to KYC everybody, then some people will get the token, some people don't. And also too, from the back end side, there was a lot of fraud. Like a lot of people are creating multiple accounts. They were referring themselves, or they're just doing a lot of stuff. So they wanted to. The goal was to try to go clear out and validate it. Like you saw the people with like 30 phones, 50 phones, 100 phones, like it was, a normal thing. And there's some people out there that are showing the screenshots of how much Pi they have. And it's
Yeah,
an insane amount.
I personally saw someone with one phone but 30 accounts, with a clone.
Yeah, we all know that happens. And, again, there's some people out there like showing off their screenshots, and they, whether it's real or fake or not, who knows, but like they have like crazy amounts of Pi, and which is fine. But, if they got legitimately, if they didn't, they wanted to clear that out. But, again, like I agree that, they're currently not mainnet at the moment. They do want to get to mainnet. I do think that it needs to get to mainnet before there's actual DApp or DApp value to be created. There are other chains, other blockchains I've seen, like they have a live mainnet, but it's a test net. Like Polkadot has Kusama. Kusama is like their test net, but it's a live token, and it has value also. But Pi is.
Don't interrupt. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, so in terms of like Pi value, I guess we'll have to wait till mainnet launches. The block of mainnet launching is, one, the team and development is not ready yet, and two, I'd imagine it's like they're still solving, or they were trying to solve the KYC process, but then also too, there was like the mining lockup period as well too, reduction of mining as well. I think that the thing that needed to be solved was
PiKYC.
Reducing inflation. I don't know the legal, so I'm not like part of the legal team. Obviously the KYC side is very different than a lot of other chains in terms of the process of launching a new token. I would imagine that it's because they want to comply with regulation across each jurisdiction. Obviously, it's controversial because if the company is based in the U.S., then I just learned too that the team couldn't work with people in Iran or other places, and I don't have nothing to do with legal, and I'm not part of the PiKYC team now, but it is the team is currently based in the U.S., and so that causes the U.S. enforces the rules and then pushes it down to the other countries, and if it doesn't, then they're going to shut down. The U.S. can actually go to like the other government and try to work with them to shut it down or whatnot, or like if you look at like Singapore, for example, even though Singapore is like independent, but they follow the U.S. financial rules because they don't want to get cut off as well too. So if the SEC goes in and says that they want to shut something off, like they're gonna take that down. And there's been a lot of SEC enforcement, and so the only other way that they would have been able to, if they were to have done it in a different way, would have not been in the U.S. and fully launched it as a like they would have to launch Pi as a DAO from the get-go, but that would have been very hard for them. So I didn't make the KYC rules. Obviously, it is.
Any hope?
It's
any hope for
its
those 4 countries who are called out? Any hope in the future?
Yeah, and that's always been the challenge, right? Because like identity, citizenship, and KYC is it's very different for each country, and there's no standard across that, and it's still. That in itself is a massive blockchain. There's been many products like Civic and others that are trying to solve that issue, right? They're trying to solve the KYC issue of identity. for that, but there hasn't been like a proper way to do that, and I'd hope that again, like there's two reasons again that that KYC is happening. One, again, it's through regulations. I'm sure that's what the legal said, and then the second way is because of the mining fraud. You know, people that are just mining too much. The mining farms for that.
So we did a KYC space. I think our last space, apart from the Pi Day space, was about KYC, and it was solely based on that statement that the core team said in the app that if the PiKYC solution successfully verifies the identity of millions of pioneers, then it would be a revolutionary solution that Pi Network is providing to the world. I mean, it felt like it's such a big and ambitious claim. Like, what will the impact of that be in the space?
It depends. You know, obviously, again, there are many people that never want a KYC just because they want to be anonymous.
Okay.
And you know, obviously, decentralization people want to be anonymous. Whereas on the other hand, though, in terms of the revolutionary side, though, you know, like having an actual verified network is that is another challenge for a lot of the blockchains. Is like there's a lot of fake wallets, fake traffic, fake transactions. You go to like some other chains, you know, there's a lot of fake stuff, and that doesn't really represent what's going on in that chain as well. So, you know, there's different layers or different angles to it. You know, I don't have the right answers for it per se.
Okay.
It's just whether you know whether you're okay with it or not. You know, that's a personal preference. But in terms of the impact, though, is you know, if they do have a verified network of the size of potentially 30 million, it would be the largest. Then it would be regulated. It would be compliant regulatory as much as possible, and then also too, you could do a little bit more interesting financial transactions in the future for like DeFi and others as well too. But it depends on how you're looking at it as well too. I'm sure you guys, you know, when you guys did your Twitter spaces about KYC, there's
about the KYC
a lot of opinions on every angle.
Yeah.
But again, good. Sorry.
About KYC, I kind of experienced something that I felt I should bring to the platform. Is it global or is it concentrated in some regions of the world only? Because I'm in Nigeria and there is no KYC going on right now around my area.
Yeah, I think it's regional. I haven't kept up with the most recent because I've been focusing on my own thing, but I haven't seen the most recent KYC global project.
Actually, KYC is happening in Nigeria. I mean, two of my earning teams, they have gotten KYC. In fact, one just called me yesterday the moment he got KYC.
Oh, really?
And he could not. Yeah, so KYC is going on in Nigeria. There are lots of KYC. I've heard of KYC in Nigeria so much.
Okay.
Yeah, please kindly mute your microphone. Your background noise is affecting.
Yeah, KYC is live in Nigeria.
Okay, there's a lot of wind around me here.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's still being rolled out. I have to get up to date with like how, you know, I from what I remember from working with the, you know, PiKYC team, you know, they definitely target per region as well. Test it out small and then make sure that it's working the way it is. If not, they have to go back, fix or reiterate. Instead of like opening the floodgates. So they always like to do small test batches across different segments as well. You know, very, very methodical. But, you know, again, it's like, as you said, there's definitely people starting to get it, but it's still not like the full access yet.
Okay, let's get more people to interact. You're on mute. I unmuted everyone, so get your chance. Go at it. Ask a question.
Hello.
Yeah,
What I
Peter.
want to say is that most of the time I've been seeing different images of phones, cars, and other accessories. Some do write 1 pi, some do write 0.1 pi, some like 10 pi. All those things, I don't know. Is there a way that it can be regulated? Is there a way that we can have something real? Or if such things are not real, then they should stop putting it on air. I've seen a lot of I've seen iPhone 12, iPhone 13 to say 1 pi, some will say 5 pi. You see a very big car to say 10 pi, 20 pi. So what's happening? I don't know. Where is it coming from? Thank you.
So you're saying that they're just seeing people like listing different items for different pi amounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like people. It's always as with any crypto. Everybody's always trying to do price discovery, especially if it's not openly traded. It is very hard or impossible to value pi at the current state, just because like if you really wanted to find the value and everything, we'd have to first kind of like identify or find out even like what's the trading market cap and how much actually tokens are circulating and transferable or tradable. And we don't know that currently, just from tokenomics standpoint. And so if let's say theoretically, again, I know, theoretically, if pi was like worth $100, I don't think it is, but then what happens though is like if there's not very many people actually trading pi at the moment because they can't transfer, buy, sell, or trade, then the price will change because the next person that sells pi will want to sell it immediately and then crash the price, and then the price goes down. So the price discovery is not there yet because we don't know the how much tokens are in supply, how much volume it is. There's not not real enough data until the token's mainnet, and then also too until the token actually hits an exchange. So
Okay, Justin,
it
I
would
have a
have to hit an exchange. Yep.
You mentioned something about KYC being regional for the moment. So my question is there ever going to be a point where here in Nigeria we're going to have full access to KYC?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I would hope so, but when I left the PiKYC team, I definitely, well, for me, I didn't really work on the KYC product as well. I know that the developers were solving it, but I don't know the the rollout plan for the KYC global or countrywide. I would hope it'd be soon, but I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Whether they're looking at the data and making sure that people are getting actual validated or not. I'm trying to also learn, but I don't talk to. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu.
Yep.
Yeah, so I have a question. It's concerning what you said earlier. I want to get more clarification about accounts cloned and people with multiple accounts. So I want to know if those accounts, when you know destroyed, what will happen to those coins mined from those
Hello, are you okay?
Yeah,
accounts? I want to know what's
that's a
going
good.
to happen.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right.
So when when they're looking at like fraud or the accounts that are botted or even doing bot referrals, they have to go through all the transactions and all the accounts they've kind of interacted with. I don't know what the decision was, but I did think that from the time that I was looking at it, they would have to like negate or prevent all the tokens that were being created from that account from actually being passed, and even the referrals or referral bonuses from that. I'm not sure if that will affect the other accounts too, like the referral account. I think that they would minus or subtract that as well too, because they would flag that account not being passable, if that makes sense. So because because right now we're not, it's on a closed mainnet, it is still be able to, they can verify or allow the tokens to be unlocked or not. They can lock it or unlock it. So the people that have the fraud accounts, those tokens will just not be in circulating supply, and I think that they would not be. They just don't exist on mainnet.
All right. Thank you.
So you can imagine it from like, because everything's on the Pi app right now. Obviously, it's not fully on chain yet,
Yeah.
so it's being stored and hold onto the Pi app. So people would be like on the first stage, which is unverified, but still earning coins, so they can still participate until they verify. And then stage 2 would be verified, and if they're verified, then their account will be tracked, or those coins would be verified that they can pass through and they're good. If they're not, then they're just not actually in circulation and they won't count, which is better for everybody in the network, right? Because you don't want to have that's like the goal, is just to not have fraud accounts and fraud tokens in the circulating supply. That would cause even more inflation. It's actually better that there's less accounts and less token supplies in circulation. That means then there's less Pi, which is better for everybody in terms of future value. I'm not going to speculate on current value because there's no current value. So the more people KYC, the better the network, but also too the many accounts that don't make it will make there be less Pi in circulation, which is like, those are not free floating Pi. So until that data comes out, that's like the important data to take a look at. If you're just studying tokenomics is super important. But at the same time, though, you look at something like Ripple. Ripple has insane tokenomics where there's just crazy amount of supply, but they're still able to create value still. So there's a still good mix. It doesn't always tell the full story. Especially if there's like 30 million plus people and more within the network for that. But I'd imagine once it hits the exchange, if and when the Pi token gets exchanged, it's going to have price discovery. People are going to still figure out the price of it, and it might be volatile still until it's fully exchanged and launched.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Justin, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. The data that will be gotten from the PiKYC, is it going to be stored on the blockchain, or is it going to be stored on physical normal Web2 servers, or it's going to be stored on a blockchain?
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer. I've never dealt with the KYC side, so anything that went through the who was it, the KYC partner, when it gets through the third party was handling the encryption for that. I don't know what the current I haven't looked through like how the regional KYC or like the current mass KYC is happening and went through that whole process yet. So I don't really know for that what the answer is, whether it's stored on chain, not stored, and it's just encrypted temporarily or not, or stored on a Web2 server. That is a good question. I honestly do not know the answer, unfortunately.
All right, then we can say Pi is not 100% decentralized.
Yeah, the reality is it's not decentralized. Pi is still not fully decentralized yet, so that's just a fact. I know that the team will, and this is it depends. Some projects out there are very centralized to bootstrap it, and then they gradually decentralize. There's projects like Shapeshift. They started very centralized, and then they went to a full DAO or DAO structure and decentralized it. Something like Luna, I'm a big Luna fan. Luna token, Terra Luna. That's fully centralized. and then it's going to be eventually decentralized as well. So it some people see it as necessary to be able to stir or
Hello,
steer
Justin.
the company in a certain direction, but the goal is to be decentralized as much as possible. But I don't know the full plans for that yet for the PiKore team.
Hello.
All right, thanks.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, so who's next? I've been unmuting people who have spoken or are not speaking and adding new people. There are lots of requests. So
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I just have a question. So, at the current stage of Pi, how many percentage is Pi going to be successful in the near future? At the current stage and the current uh, situation of Pi, do you think it's 50%, 25%, 33.3%, or 100%?
What do you mean by percent of the population of pioneers,
No, I
or
mean the whole project itself.
like
Will
he's
it be
saying,
like big?
got it.
he's
Yeah.
saying how based on percentage, how many percent? What are the chances of success of Pi?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can calculate on percentages. I think it's as the Pi team always rolls out, it's always an iteration. So even if something like fails, they always figure out solutions. It's a team that constantly is continue to build. If you look at some other blockchains, even like Polygon or Solana when they launched, and still to this day, their blockchain froze, like literally froze. Like the chains had to freeze, and they had issues. They had to reset it. It's Solana was kind of centralized in that way because they have all the validators and nodes centralizing it as well, right? And so there's always hiccups from it. Did the project die? No. Cardano just launched smart contracts, and it's still very slow. Did it die? Not necessarily. They're going to need to continue to improve. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum 1.0 right now. The gas was really high, and then transactions are super slow, and it needs to get to 2.0, right? So, I don't think that I don't think it's like a zero or like pass or fail situation. I think that it's going to be a constant iteration. If there are like troubles or obstacles, then they will be there. But I don't think that would cause the project to like instantly die or fade away. So I don't see it like a pass or fail type of situation. I do say that like it is it is a very 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 big problem that they're trying to solve with mass KYC globally. Nobody has again solved that issue. Especially if you go to there's different countries that don't have a standard ID or passport or other means of the standard KYC procedure, so that there'd have to be like a new way to do that. And I'd hopefully the PiKore team can fully solve that for everybody globally, and then be able to get them onboarded into the network. Otherwise, I'd imagine that they would have to do it like as a gradual basis of getting people into the network and verified. So I don't foresee it, like being like percentage wise. That's just keeping it honest. I think that there it is a big problem to solve, and the team, from what I know, is just like they're especially now there's like 30 developers. I would say majority of the team is all developers on board. Like that's why you don't really see a lot of communication, which I think that needs to be improved. Obviously, they need to build more community and marketing and comms, but they're just heads down, like developing right now because there's a lot of stuff to fix and solve.
Thank you for that. Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
So, how do you think a Pi NFT will be successful, or is it possible
Yeah.
to make a Pi NFT?
At the current
Because
state,
you have
no.
Polygon, right?
In the future, yes. At the current state, no. I mean, so the best one to take a look at is obviously Pi was it's not necessarily like a full copycat of Stellar, but it's based off the Stellar code base and then modified even further. And so like Stellar, so I always look at like the developments of the core code on Stellar side. Stellar is going to get into NFTs and DeFi as well too. It's still not here yet. And that gives me more promise and hope because then they can kind of borrow that code and integrate it into the Pi network and Pi chain. Because currently, like Stellar doesn't have smart contracts very effectively or at all, and then that doesn't really allow for DeFi and NFTs because you don't have the smart contracts. But once they can able to implement that on Stellar, then the Pi network and Pi core team can also take that, but also add on more to it as well too. So that gives me kind of promise. As you can see, like my profile picture right now is an NFT, so I've been heavy into NFTs now as well, and I think that it's going to be fun, and I think NFTs has a ton of use cases, whether it be for fun, for art, for collections, but even for games as well. We see there's a lot of Pi games coming. All those games and virtual assets should be NFTs as well, and then there should be like Pi collections. Like there's different art. There's a lot of art, from the Pi community too. So I think that it can create a new category of transactions, and what I'm seeing too, it's like that's not Pi NFTs. I should say NFTs in general are more global and more accessible to the main markets because it's art, it's a little bit more fun, it's culture, it's community, it's like your collectibles as well, and people like it a little bit more than DeFi or decentralized finance because decentralized finance is not really fun per se, and NFTs are more fun, and what that does and how it helps the network is people are having fun. They're actually like buying it, they're selling it, they're trading. It's actually creating more use of that blockchain, or in this case, in the future, the Pi blockchain will have more uses as well too. So I am excited whenever Pi NFTs are coming out. But it's still not here yet. But I think it's good for the network.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, I'm from Malaysia. I have two questions. So the first question is, I have done my KYC with Yoti application. So now I still waiting for my approval from Pi. And the second question is, we still we is that confirmed we can use our Pi on this year? Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird. I don't know what the process is like for, I guess, yeah, if you're already verified in Yoti, I'd imagine that they would try to get you a verified account, but I don't know what, there's maybe definitely some disconnect there. I don't fully know what the holdup process is. So that is definitely, I don't have a good solution for how to solve that. I guess you could try to go through the support, the community support ticket, and try to find out. I know that the support and community team is still backed up, but I would hope that that process would be cleaned up and you can get into a verified state, especially if you're verified on Yoti already too. Like I'd imagine that you should be close to being verified on the KYC side already, since you already got approved for that. I'm not sure what the maybe maybe they're just waiting to release it in batches from your country, but I don't fully know. I would say that if you can try to get in touch with the support ticket side, maybe that can help try to answer that specific part to move your account over. But I don't I don't know the whole process for that yet at the moment. What was your second question again? As well, I didn't really see.
Yeah, your second question, Dato.
Yeah. My second question, is there confirm on this year we can use our Pi? Because all other pioneer from Malaysia are still waiting for the KYC, sir. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So I don't think, again, like if they don't solve, if the PiKYC team doesn't solve mass KYC for all the users, I don't think that the Pi is going to be tradable yet. I think that they have to solve that part, unless the Pi core team wants to like have it in stages where, you know, a good chunk of the pioneers actually have Pi, and then they're gonna open it up and have those be tradable, and then they'll release people in batches. But I'd imagine that would look a little bit weird because people are gonna get it first versus others, and I think that they would want to wait for all the different Pi users to have a KYC or KYC process in order to unlock. So I don't know that timeline though. It really depends on how the Pi core team can solve the mass global KYC solution.
From our understanding, yeah, the migration of people, that doesn't mean that open mainnet will just come because of the migration, right? I mean, we are still supposed to do, you know, exchange of goods and services for Pi during this enclosed mainnet for a period of time before open mainnet comes, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Okay, sorry, I have to remove some people from speaker list so other people can join.
Hello, Mr. Wu.
Hey, how's it going?
I have a question. For those that have already been verified on IoT, is it going to be still valid, or we are still going to re-KYC with the Pi application?
I don't know the full answer for that. I'd imagine that the Yoti should be okay because Yoti was a partner for Pi core team to verified, and so I do think that should be okay. But I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is right now, or the flow of that from the Pi core team. From my understanding, the Yoti partnership is supposed to be valid as well, and would not necessarily need to re-KYC again. But I don't. I don't know the current update from the Pi core team on that side.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you so much for the time. Actually, I'm speaking from Ghana.
Hey, welcome.
Okay. Okay, about the account, I have a downline that I understand for Pi Network is one account per pioneer. But I have a downline that during the registration, he made a mistake. And then he opened a double account on two separate phones. So he seek for my advice, and I advised that he deleted one of, the account, since it's one account per person. So he has done that. He has deleted one account, and he currently has one account running on the Pi app. But he's worried as to whether that will affect his KYC. Though I explained to him that since he has deleted one, and he's currently, he's currently mining on one app, he's good to go. But I just want to get clarification as to whether, since he has deleted one and he currently having only one account, would that affect his KYC? And secondly, I want to find out if the pilot KYC ongoing is being rolled out here in Ghana. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd imagine that from my understanding from the KYC process that he should be fine because he's only using one account. Even theoretically, if he's having two accounts, if he was not maintaining two accounts, then he's okay. If he's trying to run two accounts and he's trying to KYC both accounts, then obviously that would flag on the back end or on the development side, developers, that this is a fraud account trying to KYC two accounts as well too. So as long as like one account is the main account and is only the one that he's doing, to my understanding, it should be fine. It wouldn't just need to go through the KYC. That account needs to go through the KYC process, and only that account will have its token be validated, and then the other account is just not KYC'd, so it automatically just not be validated at all. In terms of like KYC rollout in Ghana, I don't know. I left the Pi core team maybe like 5 months ago, so I don't know the current. I don't know the current KYC rollout plan is, and I was not part of that process.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know if anybody else in the
Hi,
community
hello.
knows, but yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, boss buddy.
Okay. Hi, Justin. Hi, hello, host. Good morning to all of you. Um, I have a question and I have a concern. Okay.
Okay.
What is your thought? What is your thought about those written on the white paper on by white paper last December that can we rely on those third parties app that uh, cannot recognize or not recognized by the PCT? Yeah, that's it.
I'm trying to understand the question. So you're asking. So I heard something about the white paper, but which third party? I guess are you third party apps?
Yes, those third party apps about those who are not recognized in hackathon because it is written. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it is written there that those third party apps that is not recognized by the hackathon is not recognizable by PCTs. What is your thought about that?
Oh well, okay. So I mean, well, I ran the hackathon, but at least I'll tell you kind of my perspective on my goal from the hackathon is, not everybody can actually win the hackathon, but that doesn't mean that the project isn't good. I don't know what the new policy is now from PiKYC team if they are not recognizing the other projects or not. I don't think that they would say that per se, but they would say that the projects that they're working with currently are more are verified and valid. Um, I I would hope that, I guess, when there are other projects out there that when their code, the way that other projects have done it in other ecosystems as well too, especially different dApps out there, like the code base eventually goes open source as much as possible, unless it's a fully proprietary application or decentralized application as well. Obviously, people are going to copy it, but that's like the nature of like the decentralized applications. People are forking and iterating off of that code. But if the code is open source, people are able actually to take a look at the code base itself and see if it's fraud or not, and those can read through the smart contracts and code can see it. If it's closed off, then they can't really see that at the moment. It would. I would imagine in the future, like if the PiKYC team is not going to validate all the project, or because they don't have the team and bandwidth to do so, then I do think that the best solution for that is they need to bring a third party, or maybe two different groups that does smart contract and security auditing on the code, and work with the teams to just verify that the code is uh, not fraudulent, and also too there's no exploits as well too. If you look at all the Ethereum dApps, Polygon and Luna, um, the good ones will be audited by a security auditing firm to validate that it doesn't have like exploits and bad code. And so I think that right now the PiKYC team is small still, and so they're trying to only validate the ones that they can actually look through the code and review it first. Just like the Apple App Store, right? The Apple App Store, or even Android App Store, they have to go review the code base first and make sure that it's not a bad actor. And I think that that's how the PiKYC team wants to kind of roll about it. But they just, the team is still super small. And if I were to propose something, the best proposal is to try to find other auditors to help validate or verify and work with other apps to just, whether the idea is good or not, like at least just validate that the code base is okay. And they're not doing anything bad to like steal people's Pi or whatever, because it can happen. You look at Ethereum, like people just automatically connect their MetaMask wallet to a random contract, and then it just fully drains their NFTs in their account. And that's like a really really bad thing to happen. And we wouldn't want to have that happen to any other application, especially if you're deploying it to 30 million people. And right now, again, it's a closed network, so they can always pull back or lock the tokens. But in the future, once it's like fully distributed and decentralized, then it's super important for those projects to be vetted by somebody, whether it be PiKYC team or another group as well too. But I wouldn't say like every project out there is bad, especially if they're not in the hackathon. I think the hackathon was, at least the way that I designed it, was supposed to just like encourage more people to build in Pi, and then just highlight projects, whether they win or not. It's not the end. Like I've been outside of Pi, like I've been to many hackathons, and the hackathon winners doesn't guarantee success. Like there's many projects that build teams outside the hackathon, and they're more successful than the actual project in the hackathon as well too, right? So but the whole goal with that was just to excite people in the development community to come together, and I was also creating like the Pi developer Discord channel. I don't know if it's maintained or not too, but the goal is to increase the communication between developers and the Pi core team. But I don't know where that is at the moment.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm logged into
All right.
my. Wow.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. Thanks so much, Justin. Some of these questions, they're like questions we could ask the moderators. I wanted some spicy questions so we could get some gossip. Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. We have turned Justin from PiKYC team to Pi moderator. That's great. Anyways, so we were just speaking something, Justin, and it brought a question to my head. Are you creating also like utilities for the Pi ecosystem?
Am I currently build communities and events for the Pi ecosystem?
Yeah.
Not yet. I guess I could. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I guess it's something I could talk to the PiKYC team, whether they want to. Obviously, I don't work for the PiKYC team anymore, so I could still do it with or without the PiKYC team. Obviously, I would like to do it in collaboration with the PiKYC team. I have not yet, though. But I am happy to do that in the near future. Yeah, like just like more community events, like or conversations as well. There's other amazing like content creators out there and community builders like Wes as well. Wes on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wes Spencer. Really cool guy. And maybe I'll continue to try to make more content and community activities for the Pi community. For that, even if the Pi core team is super busy. I don't have any current plans yet, but I'd imagine that could be cool.
Great. I'm looking forward to that also. Just speaking of community events and all, I just should take the opportunity to tell our audience here about our next endeavor. Apart from the next space, which will either be Pi DAOs or Pi DeFi. Like I mentioned earlier, we also have something exciting planned up. The mainnet gathering, you can see I shared on the dashboard there, the spaces screen. So the mainnet gathering, which we organized in January, like 5 or 3 days after Enclosed Mainnet was launched. And we are bringing it back, and it's exciting. It's bigger. It's global. So we have mainnet gatherings planned already in several cities around the world. Who knows? It may happen in your city, Justin. It may just be a surprise. So we have the mainnet gathering is basically because of pioneers who are not in these online communities. Yeah, in these online spaces, they are not digitally savvy as you would put it. They are out there in their homes, they are out there in the streets and all of that. A lot of them are pioneers just mining. So we've been thinking of how to also create some sort of value for those members of the community, and so we'll be reaching out to them with the mainnet gathering. The mainnet gathering has a model which is to uh, it has, first of all, give proper orientation, which is the beginning, and then the help desk part, which helps pioneers for their mainnet checklist, for any pending requirement that they have in their accounts. So lock up, like obviously, a lot of pioneers out there do not even are not even aware of the existence of a lockup or even wallet and all of that. I still see them. I see hear about them. So calling their attention, attracting them out to physical gatherings in different cities around the world, all plan that, and I guess it will keep increasing when we go live. This week we're going to probably make the announcement, and pioneers in different cities who are committed and interested in extending this model in their cities can just coordinate with us. Yeah, but expect the mainnet gathering, everyone. It's going to be super awesome. We are nervous but excited because it's so big. It's so big, and we hope to create some kind of value to everyone through the mainnet gathering, and then the spaces will continue. Yeah. So I know Justin, you've taken a lot of questions. Probably we'll just take a couple more. What do you say? I know you must be tired.
Yeah, I took a few more, and then yeah, like I said, happy to continue to collaborate and hop onto future spaces as well too. I think that just having good conversations about Pi again, like happy to do so, and thanks again for hosting this and keeping the conversations going on. For I know you've been
Thank
hosting
you.
this room for a couple hours
Yeah,
as well
3 hours. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you,
No,
and I was.
appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sure we'll coordinate time. I know that we're all in different time zones, and I really appreciate it. And thanks again for everybody that's so far joining in globally as well. Well, that's the cool thing about Pi is we're all connected, even though we're in different parts of the world and different backgrounds, different countries. It's really cool to interact and chat with everybody here in the community, and just looking at all the people from all the different places. Like we had people from Ghana, Nigeria, even some
Yeah,
people from Vietnam. Like it's a global thing. It's I don't really see this in many other blockchains at all. There's so many different communities
yeah. Actually,
here.
this is why we even picked this time. Like we were doing Telegram sessions, and it was usually around 7 p.m. GMT +1, and then pioneers in Asia and Vietnam and the rest were not able to make it, and they requested, so we adjusted the time to this time so that
Okay,
more
okay,
more
yeah,
pioneers globally
that
can
makes
fit in.
sense. Makes sense.
But it seems like it doesn't fit in with the US.
Maybe by just 1 hour for me. But that's just different because I wake up I wake up later because I work a little bit later. But I'm sure I can make it work. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, okay. For especially for the Pi DeFi space. Yeah, because I think we'll decide on that.
Yeah, love to chat more. Like for me, I'm very heavy into DeFi, both DeFi
Okay.
and NFTs. I host a conference called DeFiSummit.com. So I've hosted some of the biggest DeFi events, and so I like to share my perspective on that. I also use DeFi on a lot of other like live chains right now as well. So I have a lot of just perspective and experience from farming, DeFi farming as well too.
Amazing, awesome. So I'm going to throw it out to everyone. Well, I'm going to make a tweet later on, maybe tomorrow or something. I'll make a pool, so you guys all decide between Pi DAOs and Pi DeFi, which should be our next space. So if it's Pi DAO, then we'll do that, and then Justin will comes for the next grand finale, Pi DeFi. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, let's take a couple more, like you said, and so if you're
Yeah.
currently on the speaker list, just unmute and interact. We're about to end this
All right.
space.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah, Cryptic
Woody.
Gen.
Okay. All right, Mr. Justin, thanks for all that you've been doing. I've been listening to you for quite a while now, and I've been actually enjoying the conversation. And I noticed that a lot of pioneers are asking questions about KYC, and I would want to just throw some light in some of the questions that they've asked. But I also want to say that whatever I want to say here is purely my opinion based on the information that City has actually released and has been placed on the app, and not a correspondence to City, as the case might be. Now, one thing that comes to mind is that lots of pioneers actually don't pay attention to the information that is dropped on their app, like the updates that keeps coming. City has done a lot of work to try and package a lot of information into every of the updates that they always drop. But it's unfortunate that pioneers do read the details and the conversations that follow, because NK from time to time comes to the developer chat and then the node chat and tries to respond to people's questions wherever their concern may be. And some pioneers here have also asked if we currently have mass scale going on. Well, KYC started just a few days before Pi Day, which was March 14th. And although it wasn't announced, and validation started back then too, and the validations has been going on, and the KYC has continues to be released to pioneers, but not as they would have expected mass KYC. Because when you say mass KYC, everyone just expects that you could go to the KYC app at any time and then punch it and then access it. We are not able to do that right now because for you to have that kind of access, you need enough for validators to be also active on the back end and also validating every application as the need will arise. But we don't have enough validators right now. So the KYC invite is going out at every 15 minutes. A particular amount of invitation is sent out, although it's not disclosed yet. And then with that, within a short time, we'll be able to have enough pioneers that will apply. And then when they have been validated by the moderators and validator community that is currently working on validation, we will have from the validated accounts more pioneers that will now become validators. When we have enough validators to balance the applications that we keep pushing in, then we can now open the system entirely for anybody to apply at any time. This is because if you have more applications and less people to attend to validating these applications, it will result to we'll find ourselves in a situation where there are a lot of applications that can't be attended to over weeks, possibly months, and that can also be another problem. So for us to not fall into that kind of situation, I think City took their the best decision by starting small and growing up. It's more like if I would do like a projection, like I give out 100 KYC slots, of which I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but let's assume they are giving out 100 KYC slots per hour, and then out of that 100, 10 pioneers now are interested in becoming validators. So out of every 100, you get 10 validators. So by the time you give out 1,000 KYC slots, you already have 10 validators or 100 validators. And then by the time those 100 validators get added to the validators workforce, it means that they will be able to process more KYC application in the next 1 hour or a day or so. So over time, when we have enough validators, then the application will now be open fully for mass, and then they will now ramp up their servers and make sure that everything goes as planned. So, and then also some pioneers are asking if pilot KYC was sent out to some countries and all that. At the time of pilot KYC, it went out to all countries as well. So I know it was a minimum of about 250 countries that those test slots went out to. And then it wasn't announced. If you happen to by chance hit the KYC app on the Pi browser and you had access, you could just apply. And the slot was just open. So if 50 went out for a particular like 1 hour and then it gets exhausted in less than 5 minutes by people from particular country, that will be it until they now check the errors that came up with those applications and then fix it, then they release another test batch. So now those test batches are being validated right now and more slots are being opened up until we are functioning at a good, let us say, a good valid. We have a minimum amount of validators before they now open up the system. We hope that we'll be able to achieve that state in a few days or maybe a week or plus, depending on when City you get satisfied about how the system is running. So that is what is currently going on, and people keep complaining that they are not seeing KYC. Right now, it's random, so it's not certain that you see it, but a lot of pioneers have confirmed that they've done KYC through these random samples that have been going on. So we should just still relax because over time it is still function fully as expected. If they've announced that mass KYC started, it is true that it actually started, but not in the way that we thought. So we should just be patient with them because they are really working fast and working hard on all of these things. Thank you.
There you have it, pioneers. So calm down, chillax, chill. KYC is happening. In fact, I saw screenshot of pioneers who got accepted. Their KYC got approved, like successful today. So I mean, it's happening regardless of if you have gotten it or not. I have not gotten KYC, but I'm still, very very positive about it. My earning team have gotten KYC, two of them that I know of. And so people are getting it, and it's going to get better and better. So just calm down, you get it. Thanks, Cryptic Gene, for that. Fine stuff.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. So speak while I unmute. I remove some speakers who have spoken and add some new speakers. Go on, please.
Okay. Good evening. I'm talking from Nigeria. I want to know about the change of name you did. I have not reflected.
All right.
Come on, come on.
Okay.
Okay. Go on.
Let me attend to that. So, your change of name application will
Yeah.
be reviewed and approved during your KYC validation. That
Okay.
was clearly stated in one of the updates. So, everyone should just be patient. If you apply for change of name or name correction or however the case might be, you will see the reflection after you have done KYC.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I like to say, like, that was good comments. I think patience is key. I understand that everybody's excited, and this has been a very long time coming. Everybody's been mining as well too, but again, it's not an overnight project. If it was, then the PiKYC team would immediately have done an ICO, raised a ton of money, and did it. Right now, the PiKYC team is privately funded through private investors. They have not asked for money. I know that there are ads, but I'll tell you, like, just from what I know, the ads are not enough to, like, it doesn't sustain 30 developers that they have. So it's not dedicated just for all that. It's just to help cover costs as well too. To pay, especially for blockchain developers are not cheap. I don't know if you guys seen blockchain development, but smart contract development, Rust developers, like, some of them make 150, 300, up to $300,000 a year USD, and that's just like on the low side. If you're a really, really good Rust or blockchain developer, you might make 400,000 US dollars a month, no, a year. Sorry, 400,000 a year, and that's just like depends on how talented you are. So, development is not cheap, and it's not. As you guys know, there's a huge team behind it as well too.
Okay.
Hello.
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 Sorry. Before you guys go on, I just want to give a disclaimer that so I am done accepting new requests. I've accepted a new batch of people in here. So when this batch is done, this will be the final, so that we can rest. Yeah. All right.
Hello.
Yeah. Go on, please.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Pi Revolution, for this wonderful thing that you are doing in this space.
Thanks to you all.
Question is
do you have any questions, or
yeah,
I think you're kind of cut off. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay, my question is this: is it true that those that applied for change of name? My second.
We lost you again.
My second question is. I want to ask the Pi Revolution, the past revolution, the past work done here in this.
Please.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
So that is there any way we can see the record and play it?
Sorry, you may
That's my two questions.
Okay. I didn't get your prior revision question, but I'll let the first one go on, please. Then you ask again, second one.
I think he's requesting access to the audio file of past spaces.
Oh, okay. Audio file of past spaces. Sorry. You see, yes, we are going to upload them on YouTube. Actually, we're supposed to have done that a while. Man, so we are a small team. I must say that Pi Revision is a small team of people who are running things, and big kudos to the team. I mean, the co-host there is just Silence, TC, Tochi, the community manager for Pi Revolution, and then Kindness, she was here, Israel. So we're like a small team, and we get choked up with a lot of work, and so it has not been easy to cope up with all the things that we've been doing. So we have supposed to have uploaded the Pi and the Metaverse space for like 2 weeks now, over 2 weeks, but we just keep procrastinating. We will do that. Sorry, we'll put that on YouTube, I guess, and the NFT space also. But the other ones, KYC, I think, is still available for streaming here on Twitter. So when that expires after the 1 month duration, we'll upload it on YouTube. So,
Okay, thank you. Then the first question, is it true that those that applied for change of name wouldn't be invited for KYC at the moment?
No, there's nothing like that. That's not true.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I want to know.
Okay, thank you. Gagu. So as you're done, I'll just remove you from the speaker list so that I can see it getting smaller, and we'll close up. All right. So someone else who's going.
Hello, this is Vinay this side. I was just wanted to ask a question. Few days ago, update came like we have to invest, and then in 2 to 3 years we need to invest something, and the daily building capacity got increased. Like first it was if I am with a single person it was zero point 0.4. Now it is 1.8, 1.8, 0.18, something like that. What was that investing thing in 2 to 3 years? What was that time period it was being about? I didn't get that thing. If you can explain that bit clearly.
Okay, I guess you're talking about the mock-up.
I would believe.
You're talking about the lockup?
Yeah. About the lockup that we have locked something and for 2 to 3 years. I didn't get that. Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So it is something that the PiKYC team introduced. So if you lock and hold your current Pi and future Pi for a certain period of time, whether it be the few weeks, a couple months to a couple years, you'll get more. You'll increase your mining rate. The reason that the PiKYC team is doing that is because they want to reward people to lock up their Pi. Lock up their Pi longer. If a lot of people lock up their Pi, that means it's not going to be tradable on day one when Pi hits the exchanges or market, which means that there's more Pi locked up, which theoretically, as with tokenomics, could help support the value of Pi. And those that help do that will get rewarded by getting more Pi, if that makes sense, because they're helping the network come alive, and they're not trying to sell immediately whenever Pi is tradable. And so there's a cost and benefit to it. Obviously, like if you lock it up, then you cannot really transact your Pi that long until a very long period of time, depending on how long you are comfortable with it. So I would always say do whatever you're comfortable with. If you're believing if you believe in Pi long term, then you just want to get more Pi, then you can go ahead and do so. But yeah, the goal is to just kind of reduce inflation. I think that's the big goal right now, is to reduce inflation as much as possible, while rewarding people with more tokens if they're kind of more loyal to locking up their tokens.
Okay, I understood, bro. Thanks a lot. My second question is that in the recent week, previously, like we were mining 0.04 or something like that. How can we increase that mining if by locking it's got increased? What are the other ways for to increase that mining?
I think it's only through referrals and building up your mining team. That's the only other way that I can think of right now.
Okay, let me add
Okay.
up one or two things. All
Yeah,
right,
go
so
on.
one of the other things you could do to support the network and get rewarded is your app usage. They've been able to add the Pi browser usage or the Pi app usage to contribute to your rewards. When you use your Pi browser to access SoftNet and probably use the chatting app also, it increases your utility reward factor. So the more you use the Pi apps, the more your earning goes up on mining. Secondly, for those who have the right equipment and the network and the facility to support running Pi node, if you are able to set up your Pi node and you are supporting the test network right now, which is I think more people have been given access to the blockchain container of the test network. And if you are doing that, it counts for you also, and it helps boost your mining reward. And those are the other extra two types of access to more reward, other than building up a large mining team and creating your security circle. And I think that should be about the basic four. All right, thank you.
Yeah. And so I just want to add to the lockup thing. I am I'm saying my own personal conviction and belief, in kind of support of what Justin said. Yeah, lock up for longer time. Pi, I'm 100% bullish on Pi. I'm very spiritual with Pi. I know. So lockup in longer time. I'm sure there is a reason why when you open up your lockup setting for the first time, you by default you see it set at 90% for 3 years. I mean, I think it's just the core team indirectly telling you that hey, this is what you should do. Just do this. See the percentage; it's very big, so just do this, and you'll get more Pi. So yeah, lockup it helps the network. Lock up for longer, lock up a bigger amount. It helps, like Justin said, solve inflation issue and all of those things. So yeah, that's my own personal push for lockup. But yeah, it's up to you decide whatever you want to do for your lockup. If it's this or that. Yeah. And okay, so let's reduce the speaker list. The flash you've spoken. So I'm removing you as speaker. Good. Nifty, I can see you raising your hand, but you are actually unmuted. You can just click on the microphone and unmute yourself.
Hey, no, I was just waiting for a bit. Thank you guys for having me up here. I just had two questions, and they might be considered like basic or elementary, but
No, it's fine. This is an elementary space.
thank you. So the first one is Pi Network like planning to be tradable through like any big exchanges, and which ones, if you're able to talk about it? Thank you. And then the second one, I was just wondering if there's any relationship to like the Tesla Model Pi phone. I'm sure you guys might have gotten questions about this before, but I was only asking because that phone's rumored to mine cryptocurrency too, and like mobily. So I thought of your project when I first heard that. Thank you, guys.
Now, this is the kind of spicy questions I've been looking for gossip. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't have the answer for like what exchanges there would be launching it at the moment. Again, like it will eventually go to exchanges. I just don't know where it will be. I know the team is waiting first to get everybody onboarded first, and it has to go to mainnet, and then we'll be concerned on like what exchanges will be on. I don't fully know.
Yeah, I think as regards the exchanges, I mean the first draft of the white paper actually said that it is up to the exchanges to list Pi. It's not. I don't think the core team expressed any interest. It's not up to the core team. It's up to the exchanges if they want to list Pi, right? So.
Yeah. In terms of like Tesla Model Pi, I do not think it's related. Yeah, it's not. It's not related.
Oh damn.
I don't think so. At least maybe unless the PiKore team did a deal with Elon Musk recently. I
Yeah.
don't.
Please don't
I
break
just
our hearts. Don't
I
break
saw
our
his
hearts, Justin.
I saw the
I
pinned
don't know.
tweets. I'm sorry, I was
I don't
just
know though.
curious.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
All right, thanks, Nifty. So let me look at the list again. So yeah, I'm removing you as speaker, Nifty, so that we reduce the list. And yeah, we have Akpen Rene Lempai. Akpen Rene, anything from you? Lempai, anything from you? And then we have some final words with IQ, just some takeaway, and then just to move, and then we close up. Okay, I guess nothing. Okay, I'm removing you guys from speaker list. Okay, Lempi, nothing. Okay, okay. Um, yeah. So yeah, I'll let's Cryptogen be there. I mean, you've been helping out a lot in this space. Thank you so much, Cryptogen, first of all, for your insights and contributions on helping people solve things. And the IQ, our speaker for today. We've not heard your voice in a while. Let's hear you. Let's hear you, and we'll appreciate you once more for final takeaways. On Pi Web3 revolution. Yeah, let's take away some major points from you.
Yeah, I don't really think I have a lot more to add to everything on the Web3 side. I think we covered it very well. I would just like to promote my YouTube channel if anyone wants to go over there and check my videos. If
Sure.
you just search for Pi Network Metaverse, I'll come up in the search results. Got my latest roadmap out there, and we're looking for funding and all that. So take a look at that stuff. And yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting a request from Kindness. I must accept Kindness because Kindness, like I mentioned, we have a small team. Kindness is part of the team, and we're doing a whole lot of work, which is choking us. So yeah, we must appreciate. Yeah, Kindness, you can now speak. Kindness is part of Pi Revolution team, and Tochi also is part of Pi Revolution team. Sogide also is part of Pi Revolution team, and I must give a big shout out also to the team for all the long hours of brainstorming, doing stuff, planning spaces, looking for speakers, planning content, planning the mainnet gathering, planning some other things also that is coming. We can't say now, but the team have been doing a wonderful job. They are wonderful pioneers who have just dedicated the time to serving the community and creating value for the community. So yeah, Kindness, you can speak. Thanks so much. Kindness, you can speak.
Yeah, thank you so much, Woody. You're doing something right indeed. I appreciate you, sir. Yeah, and to Justin, it's actually amazing hearing your voice. I've been a silent follower, but now it's good to hear you speak. Thank you so much. IQ, Cryptocygen, John, all of you guys, Eugene. I really enjoyed listening to you guys. In fact, it's amazing. I'm looking forward to hearing you guys talk more. Thank you so much. Tochi, thank you for being there in the background. I can see you. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Thanks again for following along. I will, continue to create content and collaborate with a lot of cool people here, like Pi Revolution and others in the Pioneer community.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Awesome. Any other questions? I guess any last questions? I guess not. I guess we can kind of wrap up. I
Okay.
guess soon.
Hello, Justin. Thanks for being on the space. We appreciate your presence, and we hope for further contributions from you with respect to our upcoming Twitter Spaces. I'm Tochi, and I'm grateful for you honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think, in absence of no other questions or no, we can end the space now. Thank you so much, Justin. We can't appreciate you enough.
No problem.
IQ, marvelous. IQ, thank you. At Eugene, this is my first time I've seen you or hearing from you, but I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. All right, then, everyone, have a very nice day. Have a very nice day. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye for now.